got little bites that brighten your way. You're listening to Food for Thought Radio here at FFTradio.com. Food for Thought Radio here at FFTradio.com.
No, order, sit and leave.
This is the best political satire broadcast in the universe.
Order! I say to the honourable gentleman, give me this.
You are listening to Fockham Hall with Eric Von Essex.
And good evening and welcome to another exciting show. And I think, thanks to Patrick and Paul English, that intro worked perfectly, flawlessly. So thanks to Patrick and thanks to Paul. Brilliant. Thanks, fellas. And
nailed it.
You nailed it. And tonight's guests are, as you could possibly hear, is Patrick, Anorak, and Paul English. Good evening, fellas. And
Good evening, Chris.
And Paul is starving, I believe, at the moment. I believe you're hungry, aren't you? You're going to go have scoff or
I've got some
marmalade?
food in the oven, and it's ready. So I'm going to have to leave at 8:20 to go and eat. Yes, because I'm beginning to look a bit too thin, even for me. Actually, I've got plenty. I could probably go a week without food, to be quite honest. But I don't like it. It's not very pleasant, is it? It's not very nice.
Yeah, I like the food. Yes.
What is for tea then, or supper? I guess it is really now.
I'd rather not go into that. It's rather personal. It's probably going to have some marmalade in it, Paul.
Marmalade again? That's overdosing, I would say.
I'm like Paddington Bear. I just can't leave it alone.
Pork ribs glazed in marmalade, yes.
Yes. Yes.
Lovely.
And,
yum, yum.
And Alice Gordon says, hello, Eric and Jeremy. Jeremy the ironing board. Yes. Hello, Jeremy the ironing board. And the reason I'm in this position, I'm not using the other computer, is because for some unknown reason, the computer has thrown another strop. First of all, it's the monitor that went a bit titties up. So I've replaced the monitor because it was faulty, the monitor. But now it won't use the microphone. For some unknown reason, it doesn't like using the microphone. Don't ask me why. But that's life, you know.
On the VDU thing, there isn't an amphibian or something on there, is there? Because it might be a monitor lizard you got. Sorry.
I like that one. Anyway, tonight's theme, if you call it that, is are fads a form of human imprisonment? Now, when you think of fads, I'm old enough to remember. I'm showing my age now. I sound like my granddad when I say this. Does anybody remember? Was it Pet Rock? Do you remember that? When people were having rocks as pets. That was in the 70s. And there was kids walking around with rocks in mink coats. And apparently there was a super salesman in America and someone said, and he said, I can sell anything. And someone said, I bet you can't sell that pile of rocks over there. And he said, yes, I can. And he did. He called it Pet Rock and made a lot of money out of it. Then you had people looking for old tyres and having them as pets. Seriously?
What?
Yes. Pet tyre. And it lasted a short while. And there's a lot of really strange things. But when you think of fads, the earliest one I can think of, which I don't think I was on this world when it started, was Teddy Boys. You had the Teddy Boys. I think you had them in America, didn't you, Teddy Boys?
Well, what's a Teddy Boy? Just for the American listeners.
Oh, you didn't have Teddy Boys. Boys.
I think I know what they are.
Yeah.
But...
Well, what it was they were dressed like the
Ponces.
Yeah, especially good call them Ponces
Yeah.
of the Mississippi Ripper. You know those boats that they used to have where they're gambling on in the sort of cowboy times. Talking about the 1890s ferry boats, 1890s, 1880s. And the Teddy Boys used to wear those long jackets, as the fellas used to. The style was in the Victorian times in America, and the little ties that were like string ties and things like that. And some of them in the 1950s had earrings, an earring in, and tight trousers and what they used to call brothel creeper shoes. Did you have brothel creeper shoes in America?
No idea. What are those?
I don't know.
I don't know. Have you ever crept about in a brothel, Eric?
No, because I haven't. I've never drunk broth whilst wearing shoes. You see, so I wouldn't know. But Paul,
it's a tricky one, that, isn't
can
it?
Can you
Isn't it a
help me
tricky
with
one?
that one? What is a brothel creeper? I'm trying to describe the type of shoe. They're sort of black and a bit like slippers in a way. Can you describe them better than I can? Or
Like a
anybody?
penny loafer? Or
I don't know
no?
what a penny loafer is.
You don't? Oh.
No, but there was sort of. Yeah,
I'm not googling that. I've got to be honest with you.
But,
A brothel
you're right.
creeper.
Brothel creeper, yeah, brothel creepers.
I'm
But
definitely
they
not.
used to- Well, they used to walk around, and then I suppose you didn't have mods and rockers, did you, in America?
Mods and rockers. We had rockers like Elvis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, mods and rockers were the mods drove Italian motor scooters. The
Okay.
Vespas.
Yeah.
And they used to
Hang
have
out in
these-
cafes and all that kind of stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They used to go in coffee bars and things like that. And they used to have green sort of army surplus jackets on. There we go. They used to actually have these green army surplus jackets on, and the rockers were the more tough guys. They used to have motorbikes, generally BSA motorbikes, commonly known as bloody sore arse. So that was.
So would they
And
be
they
like
used
the Hell's Angels, or a little bit more polished than that?
Yeah. Bit
Home
more
counties
polished.
Hell's Angels.
Yes, yes, a bit more.
Very
sort
polished,
of-
okay.
Yes, and what they used to do, they used to go to places like Clacton on Sea, the Mecca of the East of UK, and they used to have a punch up on the beach.
Okay.
And if there was a hello, Monica's going to join us, and if there was there was a pregnant woman once that was walking along, and they all stopped fighting and let the woman through, and they carried on fighting again. And it was the same. It was an old age pensioner came along. They'd all stop, part, let the old age pensioner go through, help the person along if they want, then carry on having a punch up.
Sounds like
That
Looney
was Mods and
Tunes.
Rockers. Yeah, that they were the mods and rockers, and then you had all these different fads, but they were gentle. They were gentle, really. They wouldn't abuse people. They might have a punch up with the police, but that's about all. But then punk came along, and that changed everything
Yeah.
for the worst.
Yeah, I think we had something similar here. We had the hipsters in the 50s, and then they became the hippies in the 60s. And then we had punks later on.
Oh, we had equivalent to hipsters over here. We had,
Did you?
yeah, they were called. Oh, they were weird. They were. I was really young when they were around. Paul, can you help me? Early 60s. What were they? They were.
Beyond my time. It's before my time.
Yeah, it's a
Eric. I have
little
no
bit
idea what
beyond
you're
my
talking
time.
about.
It was. My parents used to talk about them. They were. Oh, there was some bloody name. They were
Vets.
real weird.
Were they vets? They're probably swarms of vets all over the place.
Yeah,
As
I
in
don't know what they were.
veterinarians. I
No,
don't
but
know what they were.
They
You mean
used-
from the
they-
50s?
Yeah, early 60s. They were. Oh, what were they? They were just before the Mods and Rockers. They were. Oh, I'll probably think of the name, but they used to hang out in coffee bars, and the women used to wear these beatniks. That's the bloody word, beatniks. Yeah, wear beatniks.
Yeah,
So there we go.
They were American, weren't they? Wasn't the beatnik movement Jack Kerouac in the 50s?
Well,
and stuff?
that's kind of the hipster beatnik, that kind of stuff in the 50s,
Hey
late
Daddy-O.
50s. Yeah,
all
Hey
that
Daddy.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mark Anthony's come to the rescue, as he always does. Thanks, mate. Brothel creepers, sometimes shortened to creepers, are a style of shoe that has a thick creep rubber soles, often in combination with suede uppers. So, thanks, mate.
Do you remember, Eric? Do you remember Sid Snot? Hello, Sid
Yeah.
Snot here.
Sid
I
Snot
got
here,
these
yeah.
shoes. I got these shoes. People tell me they're crepe, but I don't think they're that bad. That was one of his jokes.
And it's Monica Schaefer. Hello, Monica.
It's Monica.
It's Monica.
Hello, Monica. Yes.
It's a
We got-
silent Monica. It's very
Hello, silent Monica. are you doing sign language tonight? Good evening.
Hey, I hear a little bit.
Yeah, that. See, I've done 20 Masonic
evening,
signs
Monica.
in 1 minute. I'm not a Mason. But no, we've got very rude people in the studio tonight. So now Monica's on, we better watch our language. You mustn't say
you're just
or
giving me
anything
a
like
fair
that.
warning, right?
Yes. But is bum okay? We're right to say bum, I think. I think we might be okay with that. We're not going to embarrass anybody.
I'm not going to say bum, Eric. It's rude.
No, you're not going to say bum. No,
I'm not saying it.
No, bum is
Like,
banned.
Yeah.
Apart from in the Elton John household.
I don't know why I suddenly appeared here with you. I mean, I turned on my camera thinking that I just stay silently down there on the bottom of the screen. But I guess when you turn on your camera, you automatically get elevated.
Yeah, why not? Oh,
You
another
shocked Eric,
style.
Monica. That's what it was. You shocked him with your sudden manifestation on the screen. That's what happened.
Well,
You went,
I'll tell
oh,
you
there's a
another one.
lady on the screen. Well, this can't be right. And of course, it's all gone
We're
pear-shaped.
ladies. Also, do you remember Winkle Pickers?
What?
Winkle Pickers.
Yeah, I remember winkle pickers. I tried to get some. My mum wouldn't let me have any. She said, "You're not picking any more winkles. I'm sick of winkles." She said.
Well,
Good job they didn't get me to
come
spell
back.
that, innit?
I'd love to know what winkle pickers are.
They're a style of show, and they went down to for men that went down to like a sharp end to them, sort of like pointed.
There was
shield.
about 4 inches beyond your big toe, literally,
Oh.
that just came to a sharp point. It was complete dandified nonsense, complete rubbish. I never wanted any
60s.
winkle pickers at all, but I liked to say it when I was a kid because it's just
Yeah.
such a cool name. Have you got a pair of winkle pickers?
But you wouldn't want to go into a shop and ask for a pair of them if you're dyslexic, would you?
No.
I'm so glad to learn something new every day.
Yeah, we're going through all the
Never
different
heard of
facts.
them.
It's not going to be this day, Monica. It won't be
Well-
today.
I just did. I just learned
Did
something
you?
new. Winkle
Yeah.
pickers, or was it Pinklewickers? No.
No, Winkle Pickers, and I got a photograph of my mum's uncle before World War One, wearing seriously, he's a bit of a snappy dresser. He was Winkle Pickers and collarless jacket like the Beatles wore, and this must have been about 1912, 1913. So fashions just go around all the way, but an actual collarless jacket, and a sort of his hair was a bit longish as well for those days. Yeah. But he was a one for the ladies. He was married about 3 times.
Things like flares come back in, don't they? They've come back in
Yeah.
2 or 3 times. I mean,
That's
obviously
right.
they're not quite as bad as they were obviously before my time, but it was in the 70s. Flares.
They were
where
a fine pair of trousers. You got plenty
where
of trouser for your
bomber
money back
trousers,
then.
It was
There
like
was
2
loads of
foot wider
material.
than
in them.
everything else.
Yes.
So
I have a good
Monica,
story about my dad and fashions. Speaking of fashions coming round and round again, you want to hear it?
yeah, go
Yes.
ahead.
So he was always very frugal, my father, coming out of Germany and very, very poor times, and born in 1919, and childhood was abject poverty. So that makes a person very frugal all their life, even in the midst of plenty, you know. So one day at work, and this was in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, a colleague says to him, I had no idea you were so fashionable. You're like ahead of the styles, Otto. And I guess his pants, he was wearing pants that were probably, 30 years old, 40 years old that he had brought along.
Trousers,
with him.
if you're English.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pants is
That's
not the
okay.
right word.
No, pants is underpants in this country. It's
sorry.
underwear. So he's wearing
Sorry.
pants. So
He
did he
was
walk
not-
around in his underwear? I mean, was
We
he
are 2
arrested?
people separated by a common language. Yes. It's,
Pantaloons. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
so you got,
Yeah, there's my dad going around in his pants.
that's right.
Okay.
It was very interesting. It means he was obviously rather a bohemian chap as well. Frugal and bohemian. Marvelous.
Yes.
He was wearing these quite baggy cuffed trousers
Yes.
at this time when we didn't yet see cuffs appearing in Canada. I guess they had already appeared in the fashion centers of New York City, which is where the fashion centers seem to be. And these trousers were old, sorry. And so he was ahead of the curve by wearing something really, really old.
Yeah, well, my dad was like that. His stuff used to go into fashion, out of fashion, and back into fashion again. You know, he just kept wearing. But did your dad, whenever he went out, it's always shirt, tie, anywhere,
Yes.
a jacket.
He would
and my
even
dad-
even in
Is
his
that
old
all, Eric? What about underpants? I'm assuming your father wore those as well.
even in
sometimes.
his old age, even just to go grocery shopping, just to go downtown, to go to the dentist, anything, he would wear his suit and tie. And I remember other people were remarking about that because, you know, I appreciate the prelude you wrote and sent me, and you know, with the invitation to come on in this open mic day, but about the people just being slobs when they go out, not
Yeah.
being with self-respect. And
Hmm.
my father was the complete opposite of that. I mean, at home, he would wear the oldest rags, things that he had mended 100
Yes, so did
times.
my
So there was
dad.
more
Yeah, so was
mending
mine.
material than original
Yeah.
material. But as soon as he went out that door to go anywhere, didn't matter how mundane it was, of a chore downtown, whatever, he would wear a suit and tie, or a shirt and tie at least, anyway. And people noticed that. So it's a matter of respect and self-respect and having a certain presentation.
Oh, crumbs alive, yes. But wherever my dad went, it could be a relaxing weekend. Now, my uncle used to have a place up in Bedfordshire, and it was next to a river, and it was a lovely, you know, nice relaxing place to go. Now, my uncle, he was always, you know, used to wear T-shirts and was quite modern, even though he was older than my dad. And we went up there for the weekend. And what did my dad wear? As my uncle, it's a lovely summer's day in his polo shirt and, you know, slacks and that, walking around. And as my dad, shirt, tie, jacket, formal. He never relaxed. It's always the same. But another thing with your father, did he eat anything? If bread was stale, he would still eat it. He'd
Oh my goodness. I could tell you stories about that too, about my dad. He would eat everything and anything.
That's
but
right.
One day he paid for it. I've got another good story to tell you about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, my mother was also very frugal, very, very good. She didn't waste anything
my mother.
either. But
Yeah.
one day my dad just happens by in the kitchen and sees that she had thrown a really perfectly good red, beautiful tomato into the compost bin. And he says, wow, this is wasted. But she says, turn it over. And the other side was like white with mold, like white,
Yeah.
you know, just growing mold. And she had thrown the whole tomato away. And Dad said, well, you could just cut that part off, you know. So he did that, cut that part off and ate the other half. And
That's
meanwhile,
exactly
the
what my
phone
dad
rings.
would do, yeah.
Meanwhile, the phone rings, and it happened to be one of his big birthdays. Like maybe he was turning 75 or 80 or 80, whatever. His best friend, lifelong best friend, calls from Germany. And at that time, Dad was still, again, super frugal. And even though phone calls were getting cheaper and cheaper, he still was very uptight about long distance telephone calls. And it was always, you know, if my mother had a rare call with her parents over in Germany, and he would just get antsy after like 2 minutes or whatever. Okay, that's enough, too expensive. So anyway, people knew that about him. So he's on the phone with his best friend from Germany. How about Nikos was his name? And then Dad says, I got to go. How about I have to go? All in German, of course. I have to go now. And he said that a few times, but how about Nikos just ignored him? And Dad kept on insisting, I got to go now. And how about Nikos finally just said, verdammt nochmal, God damn it, Otto, I'm paying for this call. Stop it, you know, with your frugality or whatever. But then the next thing you know, Dad's dropped. He passed out. He's dropped, so he's the phone is dangling. What had happened, the reason he said he's got to go is not because of the cost this time. And like Helbut said, it was on his dime anyway. It was because of that tomato that he ate, even the good half, because that mold had made him sick and he was passed out. Now, he did recover, thankfully. I mean, I know some molds can be quite dangerous. And then my sister asks him later, says, oh, well, Dad, I hope you learned your lesson. And he said, oh, yes, I learned my lesson. And he says right away, adds to that, he says, yes, I learned that it's not so easy to kill me.
Well, do you remember Spike Milligan? Do you remember Spike Milligan? Do you have him over in Canada? Spike Milligan's a comedian.
No.
He was in the Goon Squad, wasn't he?
He's in the Goons, yeah.
Or the Goons.
And I saw a program with him, and I think it's his 70th birthday. And they found, he wrote about the war, he was in the war, and they found a German chap who was opposite him in the German army. And he came on this show, and the first thing Spike Milligan said, he said, "You're a bloody rotten shot."
You're bloody rotten witch?
You're a bloody rotten shot, because he was shooting at each other, and he said, "You're a rotten shot, you missed."
Okay, I got it.
But what
See,
we were talking
see,
yeah, sorry.
See, the funny thing, so my dad was like that. My late dad. He I don't know if you get, kitchen roll, the kitchen roll for the tissue. He'd blow his nose on it, so if anyone's eating or anything at the moment, and then he'd go and hang out on the washing line to dry.
Well,
around sometimes the turnaround line, they have loads of kitchen rolls. I think, well, just go and buy another kitchen roll for God's sake. Instead of just hanging them out on there.
Oh, my mum with kitchen rolls. That's like a religion with it. You didn't. You'd make that square last forever because they're expensive. But Alice Gorgeous says, "Sorry, I can't show it on the screen because it's Rumble's done its thing again. I'll have to change feeds, but I'll do it a bit later." My dad was such a skinflint. He washed his hair in fairy liquid. Well, my dad didn't have much hair, I think, but he used to wash his hair in hot fairy liquid as well. That's washing up liquid, or what do you call it? Dish soap. Yeah, in the States.
Actually, the beer would make it shiny, would it not? And people used to wash their hair very differently than now with these sort of detergent type of shampoos, and it would have been better for the hair. Like egg yolk, I think, was used, and they only did it maybe once a month, 120 years ago or whatever. You don't wash your hair every day or every week even.
That's right.
We're not supposed to,
because it's very strong.
Because your hair gets oil on it and makes it waterproof, doesn't it? So every time you wash it, it washes all the oil out. But obviously, you obviously used wash and go. Then did you, Chris?
Yeah, it went. Well, they say loss of hair is your genes. So I changed from Wranglers to Revives, but it's made no bleeding difference. Look at them, still lost my hair. No, did I tell you? I had genetic diarrhea. Did you hear about that? Genetic diarrhea? Yeah, I went along to see Miles, who I call my doctor, and I said, "I got genetic diarrhea." He said, "What?" So I got genetic diarrhea. He said, "There's no such thing." I said, "Yes, there is. Look, it's in my genes."
Very good.
Sorry.
That's bad.
Spike Milligan, this is I think this is true. It's actually on his grave. It says his famous last words are inscribed on his gravestone. "I told you I was ill." But shall I change feeds now so I can show the stuff on the? I'll just
I'm going to shut off my camera, but I'm going to stay here. But I'm going to eat the lunch that I just made for myself, and I don't need to do that on screen for you all to see how well I chew my food. Right?
Wow, so, you and Paul are having a meal.
Okay, well, bon appetit. We'll share a meal together. Guten appetit. I'll just turn off the camera, but I'll still be hanging out here.
Right, so I'm going to change feeds now. So I'm going to go silent for a little while. Here we go.
It's just you and I, Paul.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting with the fads that come and go. It's the same with music as well. How often do you hear the same piece of music that comes into the charts you've heard like 2 or 3 times in your lifetime, and it comes back in, and the amount of times that you get the same music that
they
repeats.
Just keep it's kind of like Hollywood films. They just make sequels.
Yeah,
which are exactly the same as the first one. Yeah,
I was going to ask Monica if she'd ever heard of penny loafers, because I think that's our equivalent of what you'd call a brothel creeper.
Brothel creeper.
Yeah, I was looking those up. They're kind of like penny loafers, except they've got buckles or laces that are different.
I have heard that term, penny loafers. You just slip into them, right?
Yeah, but you've never heard of brothel creepers in all likelihood.
No. That's well known. Brothel creepers. They also walk around like this chewing. And the other one was to have a matchstick in their mouth. I don't know quite why a matchstick in their mouth. It was just sort of part of the image, I suppose.
The thing is, who came up with that name for those shoes? I mean, of all the things you could have picked, imagine going into a shop and saying, "Have you got any brothel creepers?" Well, I don't know. We get all sorts of people in and out of it, but I don't know. I don't know what they do.
Well, this is disgusting. So, Monica, if you could put your fingers in your ears whilst I crack this gag, because it's very disgusting. But it's not really a gag. It's supposed to have happened. And I heard this from my sister. And apparently it is a true story. Now, whether it is a true story or not, make up your own minds, okay? I don't know. I think its basis is true. And it's had a few sort of shaggy dog tails put onto it. But there was a girl at my sister's school. Her mother worked in a shoe shop. And she said a fella walked in one day and he had chronic flatulence. Go back to that subject again, you see. And every time he ended the sentence, he sort of broke wind. So he said, excuse me, I'd like this pair of shoes, please. And, he tries them on, he bends up. And this is going on and on and on. And then eventually he says, excuse me, you haven't told me how much they are. And the woman said, well, I didn't tell you in case you shit yourself. That's supposed to be true. Now, again, make up your own minds whether it is. I don't know. It's okay, Monica. You can take your fingers out your ears now. I've told the dirty gag.
But the punchline, you have to repeat the punchline because you were laughing while you were saying the punchline, and I missed it.
Well, no, what it was that he said, you haven't told me how much these shoes are. She said, well, I haven't told you in case you shit yourself.
Okay, I got it.
I've got you off your meal now. I haven't got sausages on your food on your menu.
I'm a little bit slow. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
And I just missed a couple of words, and that was it. I missed the punchline. So there you go.
Now, with what you got tonight, because I don't know what Paul's got, but I just wonder what you've got tonight. So can we enlighten us on sorry, not tonight. It's for your lunch, isn't it? Because your hours are back from us. So,
ask me what I'm having.
Yeah, if you want, why not? Or do you want to keep that a secret?
Alice Gorgeous says, indeed, Monica, you should never masticate in public. What do you do when you go to a restaurant, though? That's masticating in public, is it not? I'm not sure. You could put something in the chat to tell me how do you handle that in a restaurant?
Depends if you're George Michael or not.
It does, yes. And also, it was a chap, I don't know, again, you probably didn't have him in the States, a chap called Dave Allen. Did you ever heard of him? He was a comedian, and before he was a comedian, he was a court reporter. He was actually a journalist. And he said that he must have been in the 1950s. There was a teddy boy who was in court, and he was chewing like this, and he had his hands in his pockets, and the judge said, will you please stop masticating? The teddy boy takes his hands out of his pockets and says, sorry, Your Honour, and carries on chewing. Think about it.
This one I did get. You don't have to repeat the punchline on that one. I heard it.
And according to Dave Allen, that actually did happen. Now, again, make up your own mind whether you did or not.
Good one.
But what we're talking about is these different fads that come around. Now, I mean, in Canada, did you have pet rock in the 70s?
Pet rocks, yes. You mean where people painted up a rock to look like a little pet, or the other things were painted on the rocks? Is that what you're talking about?
They sold them in the store.
They had little coats that you could have on them. And there's a American woman, I've never forgotten it. She said, oh, it's marvelous. It protects me because all I do, if someone breaks into my house, sorry, it's a terrible American accent, I get pet rock and I hurl it at the burglar. Just some nutty people. And then we had pet tire. We had people having old tires as pets, children, of course, running around with a tire that they kept, and they went to bed with a tire, a car tire. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That didn't last very long. But there's some real, some real nutty things. But what I was saying is that most of these fads just came and went and were reasonably harmless until punk came along. And that seemed to be a line in the sand. That's a line that's changed everything. Everything up to that stage, people tried to make themselves look attractive, like Teddy Boys. That era, women wore flared skirts and cut-in waist, nice outfits. And the Teddy Boys always were combing their hair back and looking smart. Then you had the mods and rockers. They were a little bit sort of,
Degenerate.
Yeah, a little bit, but they were still trying to make themselves look attractive. At least they have their hair cut nicely, and they sort of, they were reasonably okay. And then you had in the early 70s, people again. You had men with long hair, and they tried to make themselves look attractive to the opposite sex, as life has always done. But then you had this punk thing, which people made themselves look ugly. That was social engineering. And from that time, I mean, all right, architecture was ugly before that time and loads of other things. But from that time on, people started to make themselves look ugly. So I just wonder if anybody's got anything to say about that whilst I put the light on.
Oh, my goodness. I've got so much to say about this. I'll tell you an experience I had back in those days. It would have been probably in the late 70s, early 80s, because I was doing a lot of traveling back then. I went to Central America. So I was in Mexico, Belize, Costa Rica. I also went to South America, Ecuador. And one thing I noticed, because you're talking about that era when this was really beginning, where people were just dressing kind of shabby. That was all started. And not, and sometimes even going downtown in what appeared to be almost like pajamas, but they were actually sold as, pants, but they looked like pajamas, that kind of thing. And getting baggy sweatpants, this kind of thing. So then I was traveling, and I was astounded at just ordinary life on the street. They all were dressed well. The people. Really? These were just, the population of those countries. There's kind of a mix of Hispanic,
Where is this now? Sorry, Monica, I missed where it was.
America. So we're talking countries south of the United States. So Mexico, Belize, Costa Rica, Guatemala.
The type of people that would dress up on Sunday for church, I would take it.
Yeah, but every day. It was
every
just
day, yeah.
if you were downtown, you dressed up just to do your chores, kind of like what I described earlier about how my dad would present himself as soon as he left the home.
Yeah.
And maybe not quite like Dad, because he was literally wearing ties when really that didn't need to do that, but basically dressing nice, dressing well, looking good. And I thought, wow, this is so nice. The people are actually looking respectable. That was the first time I kind of had that. Really, it was noticeable to me. Before that, it was just this gradual thing that was happening. People were getting shabbier and shabbier at home, and all of a sudden, I, go to another place, and wow, they're looking good. So that was the first. Now, I have another story to tell about prison. It's not really a story, but just an observation. When I was in the prison in Germany in 2018, the most beautiful.
Can I cut in? I hasten to add, you were a political prisoner and you hadn't done anything wrong. So
thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Yes, indeed. For anybody in case they're not aware of that.
A thought crime. So there we go.
Thought crime. That's right. Yeah. So I was really noticing that the most beautiful featured German women were uglifying themselves. They had the most ugly haircuts.
That's it.
And tattoos were not yet happening very much in Germany, but that's changing rapidly. And some of them were trying to give themselves tattoos in prison, which was really dangerous and bad. Like they used pencil lead and all this stuff. But it was, of course, strictly forbidden. But that didn't, necessarily stop them. But I just noticed, why are they making themselves purposefully ugly when really by nature they are quite beautiful? But this is the trend. You're absolutely right, Eric. And this is not organic. we know this is not organic. This has been kind of social engineered upon us, hasn't it? This uglification of everything. So the uglification, you mentioned the architecture, gray boxes. That started already right after World War II, you could say.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yes.
Reconstruction. And then the music and the art, the uglification, that was very deliberate. And I did some research on that. I can quote out of the congressional records of, I think, 1963 or whatever, the Communist Party of America. They actually said, we will put our people into the positions of critics, and we will make art and culture ugly. That, and we know who is the communists. That's the
unmentionables,
right? The unmentionables. Okay, so and then the how we dress. Yeah. And I did say earlier that fashion houses very prominent in New York City, and we do know that the population of those unmentionables is quite high in New York City, right? This is not just coming about organically just because people are just getting too lazy to put on nice clothes. No, it was done. It was social engineering, very much.
Oh,
that's my
very
2
much.
cents.
You're absolutely spot on, and it is it's done by design. But it's surprising how people follow the leader. The other one is ugly dogs. Now, I've got nothing against dogs. They're very, very nice dogs, 4 legs, tail. I don't know much about dogs because I've never had one.
Ugly dogs, though.
Yeah, have you noticed people what are those dogs that look like a pig? I mean, I've got nothing against pigs.
Oh, like
pigs
a pug.
are really nice animals.
Is it a pug?
These things that got a long nut, they eat people. Rottweilers, are they?
Pit bull.
Pit bulls, that's right. Yeah, they eat people as well, don't they? I think.
And then a Rottweiler. Yeah.
Hello to the pooch. What would you like this morning?
If they're not properly trained and loved,
No, there's some people that would defend the Rottweiler, and they.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I say if they're not properly trained, they can be trained to be brutal if you train them.
Absolutely, but you know what?
People have them as status symbols, don't they? That's one of the issues. Is that they have one out on the estate where I am. We'll see them walk around with a bulldog on a chained lead, and they walk around in a vest, and they just think they're.
That's right. And also,
they've seen somebody do, they follow it.
I'll tell you the other one is the dog's barking like anything.
But before you go, I just want to say, to your point, Eric, you're absolutely right. There has been an deliberate breeding to make some dogs very, very ugly, and to the point that these dogs can no longer breathe.
That's right.
Literally.
Bulldogs, I do that too.
Okay, terrible. There you go. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You were just
no. Please, I interrupted you. Please continue.
No, that's it. No, I just wanted to make that point that the dogs are being bred in some cases to make them specifically more ugly. I don't know why anybody would do that.
But it's the uglification of.
Yeah, it impinges on their health. They can't breathe.
It's like I know, like with Patrick, where you are in America, the old cars. I know we talk about cars quite a lot on here. The old American cars, all the detailing, all the silver detailing, looked imposing and actually looked nice as part of the town or city that you're in. But I suspect America is a lot like it is everywhere else now, where you've just got the same crappy, basically a glorified fridge with no detail.
No color.
They all look the same, other than the badge. They look all the same.
No color. They're all gray or black or white or red occasionally.
But if you like cars, American Graffiti is the film to watch.
Yeah,
I watched that film for the cars, not for the film, but for the cars. It'll be the bloody
and the old music.
Yes, I mean, quite honestly, electric cars. You get into a V8, that separates the men from the boys. A V8 engine, I think. You get into a V8 engine, and it's sort of, it's sort of, it's masculine. There's something about it,
Yeah, or a big diesel.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a fella I used to work with that had a Trans Am. Now they're very rare in this country, and he had it shipped over from Canada because he did quite a few contracts in Canada. And this thing, I think it was a V16, not sure. but you used to actually feel it vibrating through the floor. So when it got in it, it was in the car park. It started out, and it's left-hand drive. And you can actually feel the vibration going through the floor. I mean, the petrol, or the gas, as you call it, must have cost a bit fortune because gas is about twice the price as it is in America. I mean, what is it you was moaning about? Was it $5 a gallon? It's about
a little over 4 here.
$4.
$4 per gallon.
Right. Well, ours is about £1.80. That would be about $2 a litre. 5 litres in a gallon. So that's about $10 a gallon. But an English gallon is different to an American gallon, I believe. I think, do you get more or less in a gallon? I think it's a different, but it's about $10. So you imagine paying $10 a gallon for fuel.
No thanks.
Yeah. And diesel, was more expensive than gas, petrol. So, it's quite something. But somebody's just reminded me that the Teddy Boys, they used to like, I mean, the Teddy Boys was before my time. And you still see, well, you did do a couple of years ago, some old boys in their sort of 70s or 80s dressed like Teddy Boys. Seriously.
Just wanted to say that 1 U.S. gallon is equal to 0.83 U.K. gallons. So you get a better deal as far as volume, but $10 still, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot. So
yeah. Go ahead.
No, carry on. No, I was going to say you're very careful where you drive. But the Teddy Boy hairstyle was called a duck's arse. Seriously. And they used to go into the barber shops and ask for a duck's arse. Seriously. So I was told. Yeah, they go to a lot of duck's arse, please. And they do a duck's arse hairstyle. And then Elvis Presley, what do you call it? A
quiff.
Quiff. Yeah, that a quiff. But
kind of like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. Kind of looking like that.
Yeah,
Teddy Boy. That's what I would imagine a Teddy Boy to look like.
They sometimes had a pocket watch, a chain.
Yeah.
Sometimes that because it was mimicking the what was the name for those was it Showboats, Mississippi Showboats? It was mimicking that. It was copying that in many ways. But then we had a cowboy revival with people walking around looking like cowboys. That is, they wore.
When was that?
That was in the sort of 90s, 80s and 90s.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of the new country type time. I remember
Check
it here.
a Church.
Shania Twain. That kind of music. Garth Brooks.
Well, contract blokes, you see, as I was in architecture, wore jeans and cowboy boots. And there's a reason for that. You look smart on top, a smart jacket and tie and that. Because when a sales rep walked into an office, he would look underneath the drawing boards, because you got the drawing boards up, you see. And when he saw jeans, he went over to that person because he knew that as he was a contract bloke, he'd only be there a short time. And if he got friendly with that person and treated them to a lunch, then other contracts he worked on, that sales rep could be assured of getting more work. So if someone came in, say, I don't know, promoting roofing tiles, okay, and I mean, I knew a rep that was drainage. They did drainage and things like that, and I went on to another contract, and I was doing some drainage design, and I've just phoned the place up, and they came across. So it gave them more work. So the permanent staff didn't like us contract blokes because we got treated up by the salespeople because they knew they were on a good thing, because they knew that we would probably do 4 or 5 contracts or projects in a year. We'd probably do more contracts or projects, building projects in a year than some people had in a lifetime.
More experience then.
That's right.
Consequence.
So we got around into different firms and things. So they knew that we weren't reps, but we would phone them up, and you'd have your list on your diary or your file of facts, as you had in those days, of all the reps you can contact. So if you wanted drainage, you go to Bert, and if you went to him, you get And the other thing they used to do, they used to have women come along. Very attractive women. That was, I think it was Lintels. There was a Catnip Lintels. Always used to have attractive sales reps. Used to go, hello, I'd like to see your drawings, please. See where we can put our lintels. But no, it was quite funny, really, you know. But Christmas time, that was pretty good because we got all the bottles of booze and diaries and goodies and calendars and things like that. The permanent staff didn't so much because, again, they used to treat us up because they knew that we would be going on to all different contracts and projects and things, you know. But that was the good side. The bad side, you had to work bloody hard. But sorry, I got carried away there. What I was going to say is Alice Gorgeous just come up with a good one, and that is current women's fashion includes baggy jogging bottoms, scruffy or what? Yes. And now Alice and also Monica and that, what do you think of these leggings that women are wearing? Are they wearing these sort of...
Well, don't get me started about this.
Have I started you off now?
Thank you for bringing that up. I'm telling you, this is the most disgusting quote unquote fashion that has ever come our way. I am just so disgusted by it. I always just want to say, you forgot to finish getting dressed. You know, when we were kids, we wore what they call leotards. I don't know if you use the same word over there in England, leotards.
Yeah.
They were tights, like current
That's
tights,
right.
maybe just, you know, not the shiny materials that they use now for tights. And this has been, again, this is not organic. This has been engineered that, it's just perfectly fine to wear these absolutely skin tight things that show every crease and cranny and crook and, you know, just, I'm telling you, it drives me around the bend. And, you know, the young people are very indoctrinated in this, because I remember having a discussion once with a younger guy who, I won't say who it is, it's, you know, somehow related, but let's just say a younger friend who was at that time probably in his late 20s. This is just a few years ago. And we were talking about various things like what kids are learning in school these days that they call, you know, family health education or sex education or whatever they call it. It's basically porno pushing and perversion pushing. But anyway, also we were talking about, like, I happened to be in Vancouver and you know, on the sidewalks and streets of Vancouver, I was seeing things that were just shocking, like not just tights, but the kind of tight that's sewn in a certain way so that the material actually is purposefully pulled up the rear end crack so that it accentuate the buttocks with this, you know, pleated pulled seam that goes up the crack, literally. And then not only that, but shiny, like in sort of sparkly copper, shiny material. It's unbelievable. And so I mentioned this to him, that these things that are being pushed as, you know, so-called okay clothing. And you know what his response was? And I was just so shocked. I almost had to go out for fresh air because I thought I would get sick. He said, well, it's because you, and this was very insulting to me because I'm his elder. And he said, well, we're comfortable in our bodies, and you know, you're just not comfortable in your body. We are comfortable in our bodies. So this is okay. See, this is how they are selling the young folks on this stuff, that it's just perfectly fine and good and normal. They pretend that it has to do with natural, comfortable in your own body, that you can wear this actual pornographic type of clothing. That is just so, it would actually be better and less indecent if you did actually walk down the street buck naked. That's my opinion. I really do think that with some of these clothings that they say is just normal clothing, honestly, it would be better to just go naked. Because then, that is there. You know.
Well, it'd be equivalent. It sounds like it's equivalent, to say the least. You know.
No. I'm sorry, Patrick. I disagree. It's not equivalent. It is this provocative, it's like it's a cheapening, it's a provocative,
Shameless.
It's pornographic. Whereas if you are naked, you know, there in Germany it's very normal, for instance, for especially, I mean, I know this as a coming from German heritage, that, you know, if you just get changed into your bathing suit on the beach, you don't bother covering, you just undress, you put your bathing suit on. Or if I remember going to the North Sea there in just 2009, I think it was, and there was an elderly couple that came along and wanted to go into the water, and there were hardly any people on the beach. It's not like there was a big crowded beach, but they just unclothed went swimming, and it was normal. It was not offensive at all. It was just what they were accustomed to doing, and there was no shame in it. They would never have thought or considered of going downtown with some kind of a legging that pulls the seam up their crack. That is something completely different. That's why I say it's not equivalent. It's not equivalent. It would be. That's why I say it would be better just to go naked, because then you are just fine in your body. But obviously we don't do that downtown. It's silly. But I'm just making that
I know what you mean.
Yeah, thank you.
I think they're turning women into having the morals of an alley cat, and men into sort of, I don't know, like cattle.
Well, it reminds me of that story of the Emperor's New Clothes. We're talking about fads here, and that's the quintessential fad story, you know, with the moral that, you know, these shysters come up and sell the Emperor on this invisible clothes that only fools can't see, or whatever it is. Yeah. And,
that's an interesting question there, Jane Fonda. Probably Jane Fonda started it. Monica, question mark. But I don't know. Are you saying that she did? I really don't know.
And but Herodotus Getfucht, he's our cultural attaché. But Barbarella, yes. I mean, that was in the 60s, Barbarella. And the thing is that what's getting me is that it's self-respect. Because to me, I'm not a snob, but my granddad always used to say, hold your head up, self-respect. And he
dignity.
Could have nothing.
Dignity, yeah.
He had a dignity, and it could be poor as a church mouse, but it would still go out smartly dressed and
Thank
try.
You, Patrick.
You know, and you're right. His dignity is gone. It's totally gone. And I've noticed, for example, in films. Now, once upon a time in films, they were not allowed to show dead bodies or wounds. So if someone got shot, they go, oh, like this, a little bit of blood will come out, or they didn't even show blood; they just fall on the ground.
Yeah.
But on the news, they would show you guts and gore. And the Vietnam War, for example, there was a famous case of they were filming, and you can actually see a GI running behind the camera, running behind the chap, and he gets shot, bang, and there's bullets flying everywhere. They were really at the front line, and this fella, there's something went off. There's dirt, filth everywhere, and he's still reporting. He's still there reporting right at the front line, and you saw everything, guts and gore, the lot. Now they switched it the other way around. The real reality of what's happening in war is not shown, but they're showing you everything explicitly, although it's fake, with films, guts and gore and everything. You know, you see a battlefield thing. I mean, I don't know. Have you seen that film, All Quiet on the Western Front, the new version with the German version, Monica, or anybody? Has anybody seen that at all on YouTube? You don't see the whole film; you see bits of it.
No.
I've heard of it. Never seen it.
You see a person run over by. Well, it's obviously not. It's fake. They didn't really CGI, but you see someone crushed to death by a tank, and I think it does revolt you. And I think in that case, it does do. It is quite. I mean, you can see bits of it on YouTube. And what I've seen in YouTube, the acting is absolutely outstanding. It's fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. And I think in that respect, it's good that they did show it, even though it is not fit for children, and children can see it. So you're seeing the guts and gore and everything of what it was really like. You know, blood splattered everywhere. So I think in that sense, maybe. But I think the trouble is it hardens you up. You know, as my dad said.
Because,
sorry.
Because it's not just about. I mean, I know films are very gory these days, but of course, kids have, or children have access to video games now. And I mean, when I was younger, we used to have things like Pac-Man. That was about as violent as it got. You ate a man, and he went back to his little cage and started again. But of course, now you got things like Grand Theft Auto, where you can go along and throw a fire cocktail at someone and set fire to them, or you can blow their head off and things like that. And
Yeah, I
it's
remember
all
in
good
like
and
the
gore.
early 90s they had games like Doom, which is a first-person shooter type thing where you're
Yeah.
shooting demons and that kind of thing. And that really kind of set a stage for it.
Yeah.
The first-person type games, and they're addictive too. I mean, it's just like a cathartic type experience when you're doing that.
And the
it
music
kinda
they put
hardens
on
you
there
to
as
it.
well is also heavy metal music, which which lowers your vibration, which obviously gets them back in because they feel depressed. So I'll go and shoot some more
Which reminds
demons or
me,
whatever.
you reminded me because when you were talking about this, the generation of the music from the mods to the punks and that whole era kind of reminds me of the heavy metal, how it went from like hippie music to heavy metal type music in the late 60s to the 70s.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, you know who Lemmy Kilmister was? He's the Motorhead bass player guy. Started off in the 60s as one of these type of people doing the hippie rock, and then it turns into punk. You know, I'd say, and then punk into heavy metal that we have nowadays. But it was the drug culture that really changed things, and the introduction of it, because all of that music went from combed slick looking dressing to drinking alcohol maybe to harder and harder drugs. You got Bob Dylan introducing the Beatles to marijuana, and then they completely changed the music style, and the clothes and everything changed with it, and then you had heavier drugs introduced gradually or right away pretty much. And a lot of that was to counteract the anti-war movement. They went in with business suits protesting the war, and then they fed them drugs, and then they ended up as hippies and ridiculous and pretty much impotent in doing any sort of anti-war activism.
That's right.
One thing before I forget, I saw pictures of Willie Nelson back in the late 50s, early 60s, and you look at him and you can't even tell it's him. It's like a totally different person, straight-laced, nice hairdo, and then it goes from that to just degenerate hippie type lifestyle. Alice Cooper.
When he was off stage, he's completely different. It's just an acting form.
It's an act,
Yeah, but Mike Mantis, 41, said all films now are extreme violence. Yes, I agree. Are extremely violent. And what gets me is these videos these computer games you can get, War Thunder and things like that. War isn't a game. War is killing people. War is horrendous. And,
I played that for a while, the War Thunder with the airplanes, and that it's kind of fun. It is addictive. And you just,
I understand that.
You kind of, I had to give it up because it just wastes too much time.
It does.
You get sucked into it, and it's just like I got to stop doing this.
Well, I used to play on things like Grand Theft Auto back in the day, and I mean I haven't played on.
Too.
I sold my Xboxes quite a few years ago now and got rid of them all. But it was addictive, and I'd have a couple of hours on there, and I mean sometimes it was quite good fun. You'd get the cops chasing after you, and that was quite entertaining. But then there's bits on there that you'd have to do missions, and they'd be deliberately really difficult to do. So you get pissed off with it. Pardon my French. And you get angry with it because that's what it does. It makes you feel angry, which is wrong. And of course, they take up so much time that people then don't spend time with family, and it's all by, and like I said before, it's all by design. But I was thinking about with the films, like Charles Bronson, The Death Wish. However many films he did of that, they were quite violent, and they were early 80s, weren't they?
Oh yes. I mean, especially that bit when he's on the tube. They said, "Give us your money." He said, "I ain't got my money, but I got this." Bang, But the thing that I was going to ask Monica, in Canada, what we've got over here, going back to these leggings and things, we've got extremely obese females, and I'm talking extremely obese, wearing those legging things. Do you get that in Canada, where they sort of walk along the street stuffing crisps in their mouths and things like that, or chips? Now, what do you call crisps in America and Canada?
Potato chips.
Yeah, they what they call, we call them crisps, because we have was it
Chips or fries for you?
Chips or fries. That's right. They are potato. So what are these crispy crisps?
Potato chips.
Potato chips. Yeah. Did you get that in America and Canada, Monica?
Potato chips?
No. Did you get these fat slob of women walking along?
Oh,
with these leggings, tight leggings, and scantily dressed, and they are usually stained. They have stained t-shirts, and they're sort of.
Is this a personal preference, Chris?
No, this is what I call the Harlow look. You went to Harlow, didn't you? Did you see them walking around there? I think you did that before you went on, when you're on the outskirts of Harlow. Did they say, "Excuse me, are you obese, sir?" I'm afraid you can't come in. Then, in that case, you know.
What they got when you get on the when they get on the bus, and it's like one cheek per seat.
you're talking about like a sumo wrestler.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they have to get on. They get on the door sideways.
Well, I remember when I used to go to London, commute to London. Oh, hello, Monica. Hey, when I went to London.
Sorry, I don't want to
right.
interrupt. Just to catch your attention, because I have to say goodbye now.
Oh, we miss you. Anyway, it's been lovely having you. Thank you very much for coming on. This is a drop in and a drop out show, so we're not sort of drop out.
Thank you.
know.
It was lovely to drop in and drop out again too. And
Have a laugh.
talk about fashions and not so good fashions and beauty versus ugliness, and we prefer beauty, all of us here.
That's right.
I'm sure.
What about obesity? Is that common in Canada, where you've got?
It's quite common.
Yeah,
It's
and they
quite common.
wear those leggings. Seriously.
Oh yeah, that's the worst too.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't, for anybody to wear them. It drives me around the bend, especially school children. They're being trained nice and early to wear tights, and I think it's terrible. And then their school teachers are setting an example by wearing tights. The school teachers, like, come on.
Yes, that's right,
and then if they're obese, they're taught to. Fat is beautiful, and fat is that.
Oh, yes,
like they're
it's so
taught this
lovely.
in this culture. There's no shame. There's no shame anymore.
with their piercings and tattoos.
Oh, that too.
This means a lot to me. This piece of dog poo that's tattooed on my chest. Oh yeah, it reminds me of my pet dog Rover. You know. So I'm just making that up, but you know what I mean.
No, but I totally get it, because you will see art installations being paid for by the taxpayer dollar, like through government, municipality or provincial or federal government. You'll see art installed in cities that is actually just garbage, or like you say, dog poop, or some kind of like excrement that's made into metal form or whatever. Like, you see these things actually being paid for by our public monies.
Yeah. Because I guess the flip side of that is going back to the size of like blokes and women. A lot of the time, it's because fast food is cheaper than going and getting some chicken and broccoli and actually making it yourself and actually having a proper decent meal, which is good for you. It's cheaper to go and pop into McDonald's and go and get some poison and keep eating that crap, and that's what makes them obese, isn't it? And as Jasper Carrot said many years ago, he said the reason he says this hole, the mouth, is far bigger than the one that's down there.
That's right. Before I go any further, I've had people get upset when I've spoken about obesity before. So I better make it clear that there are people that have got glandular problems which make them obese. I have the greatest sympathy for them.
Yeah.
And I also have there are people that have got eating disorders that make them obese.
Yeah.
We're not talking about them though.
We're talking about the
Eric.
people that are trying to make it look beautiful, because I mean,
promoting the vice of gluttony rather than having modesty about it.
Precisely.
You
I
guys,
mean,
right on, spot on, and also you can dress in a way that you still look attractive and good and respectful
right.
and dignified, even if you are really quite overweight. I mean, case in point, my grandmother, she was a large woman, but she never wore things that would have made that somehow accentuated. She just was a
That's right.
modest woman,
Hmm.
and there was nothing wrong with that. Nobody would have been
Precisely.
judgmental of that.
Hmm.
What we're talking about, like, because you asked the question about the tights and on obese people. Okay, if you've got these layers and layers bulging, and then you're going to wear tights, and then we've got this culture of, oh, it's so beautiful, and be
This is what it
proud of
should be.
everything.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the problem. But thank you. You both articulated it. Yeah.
Because people got very, very upset about it. I mean, I even got someone upset when I mentioned the Chinese joke about a dog is not just for Christmas with care. Some be left over for sandwiches in the new year. Somebody a couple of people got really upset about that.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe in eating dogs. I wouldn't eat a dog. I like dogs. Even though I don't have a dog, I like dogs. That's it. They're marvelous companions.
Yeah.
That's a joke. Because all jokes are bad taste.
And we need to be able to have humor, right?
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. But no.
Okay, so goodbye, everybody.
Anyway,
I'm gonna bid
Bye,
farewell.
Monica.
Night, Monica.
See you,
I
Monica.
look forward to the next time. Do keep me on your
Come
list.
soon, Nick. Come on soon, yeah. And we'll have to have a dedicated show if you think
I
of
actually have a
subject.
pretty serious story to talk about, but it wasn't appropriate to bring it into this. But
Oh.
I did talk a lot about my dad, and this very serious story is about my dad. I talked about it yesterday on my Flip Side show on RBN.
Oh, what's
and
that?
I'll be talking. Listen, it's not watch, it's listen. Listen only. It's audio only.
Okay.
But anyway, they are going after my dad now, just like they are going after
Oh no.
old dead white men in various like monuments
Oh,
being torn
no.
down. And
Is
this
your
and that.
dad
Changing-
still with us?
No.
Is he still
What's that?
alive? Is your
No,
dad?
no. He died 17 years ago, and
Okay.
all the people that he ever cared for are long dead too. And this is what they do: they wait
He's a doctor.
until the like just like with so many other lies that they've perpetrated, they don't do it right away. They install these lies later.
Yeah.
So, but
It's
anyway,
like Columbus and all that. Yeah.
Before you go,
yeah.
Monica, when you were last on, you know that when you're waking up and you're sort of half awake and half asleep, you're sort of. I had this strange thing of Otto. That's your dad, isn't it, Otto?
Yes.
Meeting my dad. I don't know quite
Wow.
why. I just went- Now,
Like
I
a
wonder if they're up
dream?
in heaven. I wonder if they're it's like a dream, and it was only a split second, and I'm just wondering whether they're up in heven having a good old chat, looking down, saying,
Oh,
and
that would be
just imagine Otto saying, "That's my daughter," and my dad said, "That's my son." Wouldn't it be
I
lovely?
love that.
But,
What a nice little story to go out on. Thank you so much.
But the things
And
you got to remember is they're always around us, aren't they?
Yeah.
The people we love, they disappear off, but their souls are still around. They're still in our hearts, and that's what's the important
they
thing.
would have got on like a house on fire. I'm positive they would have.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean they
We've
really would.
talked enough times, and we know a little bit about each other
Yeah.
and about our
Yeah.
fathers, and I think so.
I think my dad would have said, your dad would have said, "Hang on a minute, I was there." My dad was, "I was there." Oh yeah, I could just see it because because my dad had a
Remind
very
me,
different
when
view.
was your dad born? When was he born?
Same year as Otto, 1919,
There you
18th
go.
of April.
We've talked about this before. Same year. They were the same.
Hang on,
bin-
what month was it? The same month or
October for my dad.
So he was younger than my dad
Oh,
by a couple of months,
okay.
but they were same generation.
Yes,
Isn't that
indeed.
amazing?
Same
Uh,
year. That's
yeah.
close enough.
That really is same year as well.
Born at literally the end of World War I into
That's it.
absolutely most horrendous conditions in Germany at that time. And for your dad, it wouldn't have been that much different, I think. But
That's right.
anyway,
And
Yeah.
also, we are a special generation. Us too. Shall I tell you why? We're the last generation that remembers First and Second World War veterans.
yes,
They
the
were very
actual
old.
veterans.
The old First World, when I was young, they were very old, the First World War veterans, but I used to speak to them. And so I had some idea when they told me about the trench warfare, what it was like. And it was horrendous as far as I'm concerned. But isn't that anyway? Let's hope they're up there now.
Yeah.
Having a good old chin wag watching this show.
All right.
Anyway, good night. Oh, sorry,
Good
goodbye,
night,
because it's
Monica.
afternoon.
What-
Bye, see you,
okay.
Monica. Right. Paul, has Paul finished his dinner yet?
He's probably working on dessert.
Yeah, yes. We could actually have a competition. What has Paul had for dinner? But what do you think that's the thing that's gone? Teenage fads after punk disappeared. What's happened to teenage fads? They don't exist anymore. Have you noticed that? That once upon a time there was fads.
Well, they come and go quicker, more than likely, because just the rate of communication comes and goes so quick.
Yeah.
One thing's popular one month, and then the next month it's completely different.
The one fad I really hope does get gone very soon is the fad of vaping.
Oh,
'Cause that is disgustingly horrible stuff. Yeah, but we were saying earlier on before the show about that music has its fads as well. I mean, I'm of an age now where I can hear some music in the charts. I think, well, I remember that in the charts in the 90s and the 80s, and that certain, I don't know if it's certain words that affect how we feel, etc. But it's obviously we know words affect how we feel. But there's certain music comes back in, doesn't it? And you'll hear the same music over and over and over again, and that seems to follow the same pattern as well.
I don't know about same with you, Paul, and I can call you Paul because the other Paul isn't on there, and Patrick. But I like music that was made before I was born. So I'm wondering
Me
whether
too.
it's here before. I mean, I love 1940s sort of big band stuff and 30s stuff and sort of jolly stuff like that, and stuff from the 50s I kind of like.
Yeah.
And it was before my time, and it's very weird. And do you ever get a kind of deja vu that you feel you've been here before? Because I do.
Oh yeah,
There's
yeah,
lots
yeah.
of things I think. Ooh,
I get what George Carlin called Veja du. I've never
that?
been here before.
Is there certain parts of America or anywhere else that you go and you feel you're very much at home there? I mean, Cornwall is my one. I feel that it's home. I don't know why. I think my
Well,
ancestors.
last week,
Yeah.
last week I was up in Scotland. Last week I got back yesterday, and I felt quite home up there. I must be honest. I was based in Stirling, and then travelling out each day to different parts. And one thing I will say is that I didn't notice any chemtrails at all until I came back south of the border, and then they started. Scotland seemed to be free of them.
Really?
And also, I know we've probably mentioned this before about where you feel the tiredness and the bloating.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that in Scotland at all, but now I'm back here, I've got it. So something's going on within England, as it were, possibly Wales as well. But
Yeah.
I have to say, Scotland was just, I felt at home there. It was nice to see natural
Tiredness.
skies.
Are you getting tired? I mean, about 5 o'clock, which is the wrong time, I'm sort of.
Yeah, I did early on. Yeah. About 3
after
o'clock this
dinner.
afternoon.
Yeah.
I had a
sort
kip
of-
for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I never felt like that once in Scotland, even though I was out and about travelling and walking and whatever, doing what I was doing. But I never once felt like that. And I kept it down to one meal a day. I was literally just having sandwiches. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's all I was. I come back here and I eat like a piggy wiggy.
That
Weird.
could have something to do with it. The blood sugar spike,
Yeah.
and just need a nap from it, or the weather. Could be the high pressure, low pressure change from one geographic
is.
location to another.
We're going now, though, from low pressure to high pressure because I reckon by Wednesday we're going to have high pressure and it's going to be like the Riviera, nice and warm and hot, But now we've got one contender of what Paul has had for his meal tonight. This is Alice Gorgeous has said, a bucket of clotted cream washed down with a gallon of Earl Grey.
That sounds like Paul.
Yeah, that's Paul. Yeah, that's it. Yes. But
With
I'm
a scone.
one of these miserable sods that's on a keto diet, so I just have protein, and that's how
You have like a big porterhouse steak,
No.
for breakfast. No, mincemeat.
mincemeat. Yeah, porterhouse steak over here. I mean, it's just you'd have to take a mortgage out for that. I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking about £20, £30. That'd be what, $30, $40, something like that.
That's cheap at a
T-bone
restaurant.
Yeah.
We went to a restaurant here. It's expensive. That kind
Oh
of stuff.
yeah. It's everything's expensive in restaurants. But
Yeah.
but do you find there's nothing but cafes and restaurants open up everywhere?
Yeah.
In this country, and you think how do
They all
make-
closed down for COVID, and now they're opening them up here and
Yeah.
there and everywhere.
Hmm.
It's weird.
Yes.
Not in
And,
Scotland though. Stirling was still full of individual independent shops, and just
Really?
an amazing place. And went out to Aviemore on the up towards Inverness that way, and that was very oldie worldy, very nice part of the world. Cairngorms and something like that. Still snow on the Cairngorms at the top there. It's a brilliant place.
And also, did you see any Scotsmen wearing their kilts, or is it just occasionally? But
Just
I've never
one.
been to Scotland. Really?
Just one. Yeah, it was, and strangely, it was on a train coming up from Carlisle, and they got off at some like Dumfries, so it wasn't really proper Scotland either. So obviously,
I remember that there was when I worked in London, there was a Scotsman wearing a mini kilt, a little bit too short, walking along down Great Portland Street. This was, and you know those air lines that they have from air compressors for pneumatic drills. You know the type of thing.
yeah.
Well, there's one sort of on the ground. And the bastards did it purposely. As he was walking along, he's walking quite, and they timed it perfectly. They switched the air compressor on, so the thing went like a snake, and he's going, "Oh, oh shit!" You shouldn't laugh at people's downfall, but I couldn't help but laughing. But you know, out of all national costumes, national dress, I think this kilt has to be the worst. I'm sorry. I've upset loads of Scots people now, but what is it? What is it? I mean, the original kilt is all right, and it's about, what is it? Loads and loads of lengths of material, but the Victorian reinvention of the kilt, I think looks bleeding awful. When you see a bloke wear it, it doesn't look right. It just doesn't. I don't know. What's your view of that, Patrick? You get many Scotsmen? I don't think you get many Scotsmen in Wisconsin.
No.
walking around with their kilts, do you?
No, we don't have men in dresses here. I mean, we do, but it's not they're not
Not that
traditional. Yeah, not that type.
I think they do it so the English can take the piss out of them. I really do.
Could be.
We had a Scot bloke once walking to work. He only did one day. The dog was taking the piss so much. He just all day he was getting it. You know, at one place. Do you know Danny LaRue? He was Danny LaRue was for our American viewers was a famous cross-dresser, I suppose, a bloke who dressed as a woman. And what do they call it? Drag act. That's what they call it. Yeah. And he was very, very famous for it. He used to speak like this. Hello, darling. And, and the flack he got. And of course, we had a couple of Australians there as well. That was giving him even more flack. Poor sod. I felt a bit sorry for him in the end. But I mean, it's not the thing to do. Come to work wearing a kilt, is it? I think it was some day. Was it Summit's Day? I don't know. Burns night or something. I don't know. Something, you know. But there are a lot of Americans that wear kilts, though, isn't there? There's a lot of
Really?
in Florida, I think, and they walk around.
No, I never see it. I've never seen it. And maybe no, I've never seen anybody dress up in a kilt in real life.
Well, my neighbour, he's dead now, but he went to Florida and he met sort of loads of people that are Americans that are, you know, called McDougal and McDonald and whatever.
Yeah.
And they're all dancing around wearing kilts at this sort of meeting that they had because they were proud of their heritage. So I suppose it's any.
Yeah.
Like
well, what's that?
I'll say it sounds very specialist as that, Chris. I have to say.
Yeah, it does.
Sounds a bit like the Freemasons, to be honest with you, but in a different form.
He was a Freemason, believe it or not. Seriously.
Right. Maybe that's where it comes from then.
Yeah, but no, I just something about the kilt. I don't know what it is. I mean, it just looks just dreadful. I mean, you know, you look at other brothers. I mean, I don't know the Greeks. What about the Evazot Guards? Have you seen them, Patrick or Paul? Evazot Guards.
What are they?
They're called I'll probably pronounce it wrong. The Evazot Guards. I went to Greece, and they wear.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Shoes with pom poms, and they do this really strange ceremony when they change the guard. And I stand there almost wet myself laughing. I thought it was funny. It's like,
very effeminate.
Yes, it does. But
But the thing is, I mean, like with going back to the kilt thing, I can't imagine it's very. I mean, Scotland isn't exactly the warmest. I mean,
No.
even last week, it was still the wind was still freezing up there. So I can't imagine it's particularly pleasant having a kilt on and having sort of wind chill factor, shall we say, on your nether regions. I mean,
Inbuilt
You
sausage cooler. I like that one. Thanks, Eva. And Mike Manchester says Wales or Cornwall would suit me. Cornwall for me. Yes, thanks. Yeah, sorry, you were saying. Yeah, but my uncle, he's English, but he was called up in national service after the war, and he was in the Highland Regiment. Seriously, he's English, and he reckons the kilt was very warm. He says loads of material wrapped round, and when they went out, this is serious. They had to walk over a mirror because they weren't allowed, and they were not allowed to go upstairs on a bus. That was they get was it court-martialed for that? And they got court-martialed for wearing underwear.
What do you think the point of that is?
God knows.
It's just to humiliate them and keep them humble, or what? They're just.
I really don't know. But I know that he featured in the newspapers because he played an instrument. I don't know if it was drums or something. I can't remember what he was playing. But in civilian life, he played the bass because he played in a band called the Buddy Good Band. That's a good name. Anyway, he was marching along and a dog wouldn't leave him alone. And it was kept featured in the newspapers. He's marching down the streets. I don't know where it was, Edinburgh or somewhere. And this dog just kept marching next to him and just liked him. I don't know why. But no, I just think it's weird. I know that the Germans are really into kilts, aren't they? I know that they were fascinated with the Scottish regiments. And on D-Day, the Scottish regiments used to go in with a piper. And they didn't shoot the piper because they thought he was insane. I mean, who would walk in on the beach with bullets flying everywhere, playing the bagpipes? It's got to be about.
Apparently, they're really hard to play as well. The bagpipes.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're really difficult to play.
Oh, my uncle played the bagpipes with a cat. You got the cat, and it just bit his tail. Sorry.
I'm sure there's a joke involving a bagpipe and an octopus or something like that. And he says, "If I can get its pants off, I'm going to do something with it."
But it's that whine I can't say that all the bleeding time. So Patrick, are you into bagpipes? Do you see it?
No, not particularly. It's not my thing. I like it on, like AC/DC when they're playing it with rock music. It's kind of fun, but other than that, no.
I actually think that the kilts were invented so the English could take the piss. I really do. Give us a good laugh.
Just to humiliate them, yeah. To humble them.
Yeah. It's
One thing I will say though is on the week I was away, the amount of Scottish people seem to be very, very pleasant for the most part. I mean, obviously there's the odd dickhead like there is everywhere. But
bloody English.
they all seem to be nobody ever smiles. I know I've rarely saw a smile up there, but other than that,
well, that's most northern climate places. They're not the stoic Swedes and Norwegians. You don't consider them like smiley. Maybe you do, but they're Russians. They're not. You don't really picture people in the north as having the most cheery,
strong onions.
Yeah.
But the more north you go, the stronger the onions are, and the more south, more warm the climate, the weaker the onions are.
Really?
That's true. Yeah.
Well,
that's true.
Yeah.
It could be something to do with the onions. They know they're onions.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say some bits were rough, but I did bail off a train at Coatbridge Sunnyside, which in itself is trade's description that because there's no way I'd walk around there at night. Even the pigeons up there were beating the shit out of another pigeon. That's how bad it is. And I'm not joking either.
Bit like, because I noticed you sent something from me at Harlow. I mean, did Harlow remain with you on the bottom of your shoe when you left?
Oh, that was brilliant. The priority seats on ScotRail trains have got a picture of a pregnant woman, someone with a broken leg, an old man with a walking stick. I couldn't resist that. That's Harlow's information. That's the tourist information for Harlow.
You survived Harlow. At least you survived it. That's the thing. I got a bleeding drive there in a couple of days' time to go to B&Q, pick up my aluminium angles. Yeah, because I got a £20 token from this. I won't mention the name. The bloody car insurance thing. So I thought, what do I spend it on? I know what I'm going to spend it on. Some aluminium angle. It's for a project I'm working on. So there we go. But now, what we got here? Alice Goulder says, Baby with the Laser says, I have a few mates that live in Norfolk. Funny enough, I once met a cousin of the Queen there. Well, I don't know. You meet lots of cousins there because Krista Gardner isn't listening in, is it? Because then Norfolk is noted for, shall we say, cousins marrying cousins, close relations.
It sounds a bit like Broseley. Well, a place called Broseley in Telford, where it's renowned for being inbred.
Well,
and you travel anywhere, you could talk to somebody in Scotland and say, "Oh, this person's from Broseley. Is that their mother, sister, and granddaughter? Then, oh yeah, probably."
Well. I shouldn't say. Is anybody from Sandy in Bedfordshire listening in? Nope. Right. I think we're going to get away with it. For inbreds, go to Sandy in Bedfordshire. Oh my godfathers! I went there. I used to have a girlfriend. I'm not sure. I don't think she was inbred. That lived in Sandy in Bedfordshire. No, Biggleswade. That was it. I used to go to Sandy, and there was a fella walking around in a 1967 sort of anorak. Like this all the time, and he was an inbred. It's full of village idiots, you know? But what's this? When you getting that stoned Scotsman on again, Eric? He was a riot. I don't think it'll come on after what we've been saying tonight. Anyway, if he is, don't take it personally, mate. It's not so nice Scots people around, but apparently with their kilts they have 4 foot high thistles. Oh, makes me eyes water thinking about it. But
become a member of the Bee Gees very quickly, walking around there. Then,
but no, it's a funny thing about different nationalities, and this is what is so sad about them trying to destroy culture, because everybody's culture is unique and should be preserved, and bringing masses of immigrants into us is unfair on the immigrant culture, because their homeland should be a place they want to stay in and want to be in, and I think that everybody should be happy in where they are. So if they're happy being in England, fine, but most people are in another country because it's they've been financially. And this is going back to what we were saying about the theme of the show. They're being in a financial prison because you're going where the money's good, not where you really want to be.
Well, they're being lured, aren't they? They're being lured by the advent of money, and then being used to basically attack us.
Yeah.
But if only they actually put some brains together and thought to themselves, actually, we are being used here, and we don't want to go to where we're being asked to go. Maybe they need to start standing up for themselves and start going and saying, so we're not going to go to England or France or Germany or wherever. We're going to stay where we are.
Well, the big problem is that we're luring the educated types. Well, so that's what they say. But, they said, it's the accountants and people like that. Well, surely they should be in their own country, building up their own country. So they're turning their own countries into a graveyard or desert of uneducated people, because they're going to college, learning what they want to earn, and then buggering off over to Europe, which is, again, is very unfair. To me, that is pure racism in many ways, because you're discriminating against the indigenous of the country they come from. So it's turning it on its head. I've got nothing against anybody, but no. Now it says here, Alice Galders, did you vote, Eric? I actually went out of my way not to vote. No, I don't vote. No, I wouldn't even vote. If they put a polling booth outside my house, I wouldn't vote. No. I don't play their little games. I don't play their games. And but in Australia, do you know that it's law that you got to vote? You get fined if you don't. Seriously.
Really?
So,
Yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah.
surprised at that.
Yeah.
'cause
I
there's no
actually,
contract.
I think you should vote, but at the same time, if there's no candidate that you can get behind, then don't vote. That because it sends a message, I think, of protest. Like, you know,
but
if somebody gets in and they only have like 8% of the population even voting, you know that person doesn't have a mandate for the power that they pretend to have, and it's a lot easier then to point that out to the populace. I mean, to me, I think not voting shouldn't be penalized at all, like they do in Australia. I don't think that's right what they're doing.
Well, I think in many ways, excuse me, that's crawled right down my back, whatever it was. I've got itchy back.
Was it a wood tick?
Could be. So, no.
Wasn't one of them?
Oh, it is.
Wasn't one of them brothel creepers? Was it?
There's this big thing about ticks all of a sudden. You know, I've lived in this country many years and never heard anything about ticks. You know, tick you got was on a, you know, when you was at school, if you did something good, you got a tick, you know. But that's a different type of tick. But no, seriously, I think that what's happening is I've lost the thread. What I was going to say. It's the ticks that put me off.
About voting.
Oh, about
not
voting.
voting.
Yes, thanks, mate. I think when we were as hunter-gatherers, when you look at tribes, I mean, I knew a girl that was an anthropologist, and you notice that when the tribes go hunting, there's no leader as such. The hunters did what they were cut out to do, and the strongest hunter would do after a certain animal, and the weakest hunter would go after another animal.
The one with more experience.
That's right. And
Typically would be the leader and tell others what to do.
The elder.
The guy.
And it wasn't necessarily, it was just a natural thing that happened. They didn't vote or choose. It just naturally happens. And I think this is the problem with our society. As we've now become like, we're not hunter-gatherers anymore, even though we've still got that bred within us. We got this electing leader and following the leader mentality. This is what I find very disturbing. Now, I write an article on Telegram. Now, please look up my Telegram channel. It's down, but no, it's not in my crutch. It's down in the description below. It's very, very nice. It's very, and there's Paul English's Telegram channel as well. It's better than Facebook. So a lot of naughty stuff on Telegram where you can't on Facebook. So there we go.
And by naughty, we mean like politically. You know,
yes, incorrect.
Not allowed.
Yes, that's right. But no, this is the thing. But now, Baby with the Laser said, driving down a lane in Norfolk once, and my mate started bibbing his horn like a loony. Turns out there was a bunch of toffs on a pheasant shoot, which I think is cruel, and he just wanted to piss them off. Good. I mean, I can't stand fox hunting. I mean, I know that hunting's big in America, but it's different.
Yeah, but we eat the meat. We're doing it
Precisely.
because it supports the family, and you don't have to
Correct.
pay as much
That's
for food.
I don't see any problem with that. I haven't got a problem with that. I have got a problem with them chasing a fox through fields and wearing the thing down, and they don't eat it. It's just dead. That to me is savagery. That is a completely different thing. And you know, I mean, if like eating roadkill. No,
It's one thing for a farmer that's protecting his chickens from a fox, killing a fox, I would imagine. But you know,
that's all right.
making a sport of it is kind of
That's it.
I don't know what to say.
Although I suppose, with regards to the fox being, or the chickens being protected from the fox, and I suppose maybe the farmer then needs to look at what he or she is doing with the chickens in order to actually stop the fox getting in the first place. The fox
that would be
needs
better.
to die
Ideal, of
because
course.
the fox is just doing what he does.
Yeah, ideally, you be humane, no doubt.
I agree.
When it's when they make a sport of it, where it's a gambling type thing, I think that's when it gets to be too much, and that's ridiculous. And they're wrong.
It's like cockfighting and things like that. It's cruel. I don't believe in this sort of cruelty. But
Or dog fighting, for that matter.
That's
We were
right.
talking about pit bulls earlier. That's what they were bred for.
But in America, hunters go out, as you quite rightly say, and it's a clean shot generally. Bang, the animal doesn't even know anything about it. It's
Right.
just, that's it, and it's there.
Ideally, I should say ideally, because there are lots of people that go out that don't have a good shot, and they end up having, as a consequence, they become a good shot because the hassle and rigmarole of following the blood trail and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's work. It's real work, especially when it gets cold out and you've been sitting up in a stand and freezing your fingers and toes off. It's not fun. So you want to be a good shot if you're going to do it.
Well, that's it. I mean, when there's is there a hunting season, or can you hunt?
Yeah,
anytime?
usually deer season is the biggest one. Otherwise, like turkey, you know, it depends on the season for the animal, but usually deer season is the biggest one that we have for white-tailed deer, and that's in around November near Thanksgiving, which is our main holiday.
Yeah, you don't see anybody with a blunderbuss, do you?
What's a blunderbuss?
A blunderbuss is a gun.
With the horn at the end, like a shotgun.
Trumpet. Well, you can't actually miss. It just sends out lead shot everywhere.
Yeah. No, you wouldn't want to shoot a deer with that kind of buckshot.
Just have the feet left.
I think I might be wrong. I think they were flintlocks, because what gets me is when you see these films and you see them using flintlocks, you see the blokes going bang bang. They didn't do that. They actually got away because when it fired,
the powder burns,
powder and shit everywhere.
Yeah.
They always had powder over their faces.
Well, we go out muzzle loading too, which is one shot. You have a percussion cap and boom, black powder rifle type thing, or not rifle so much. It's just like a straight barrel, smooth barrel, usually with a ball or some sort of like
Really?
bullet type thing. Yeah.
Who was that general? I think he was in the he was in the Union Army, or was he in the Confederate?
Custer.
Army? No, it was one of them that said his last words said, "Sir, you're within rifle range." Nonsense! They couldn't hit up. That was his last words. I don't know what one it was, but it was a general that said that. Nonsense! They couldn't hit up. That was it.
Poor sod.
That was it. Yeah, poor sod. Because it was
that with the pheasant hunting though, and haven't they even got to the effort of actually taming the pheasants so they don't fly
Pheasants
off?
are very tame. We have them. They come up into our yard and they eat the bird food that falls to the ground from our bird feeder. They're very
beautiful
common.
birds as well.
Yeah, they're beautiful, and they sound like a dog barking sometimes. You hear something outside, and it's a pheasant making weird noises. Kind of like a turkey. Turkeys make a weird noise too. We have wild turkeys. Quite common to see them.
They sound like a coffee jar being owned, like instant coffee jar. And they.
I can't even do it.
Yeah.
It's like wood scraping on wood. Kind
of. Yeah. Strange things. But back to fads and things like that. I noticed that teenagers now seem to be very conservative, very sort of. They don't really follow fads. They're just too busy looking at their computers going.
Yeah, that's it. They're too busy looking at computers. They don't have time to rebel. I mean, they do rebel because, don't leave me alone. I want to play on my computer. It's that kind of a rebellion. But it's not like they're going out, partying and drinking and all that kind of stuff as much as in the past.
Oh, no. They don't do that. But I think that what they've done what basically Chairman Mao did. He went to the teenagers and children to turn against their parents, and I think that's what they're doing with social engineering today.
Like in, did you ever see the David Lean film Dr. Zhivago, where the Soviets are starting to propagandize the children against the king, the Tsar?
Sorry, years ago, I can't remember it really fully, but I know it was a bloody. Because did you know that the winter scene? I'm probably going to spoil it for everybody now. Was filmed midsummer in Spain. There's candle wax they used, and the actors and actresses were absolutely sweltering hot in big furs, and it was about 100 degrees outside. They're almost fainting with the heat. Who thought of the idea of filming it in Spain?
Somebody who wanted a vacation while they were doing it.
Yeah. I mean, why do they film these films away from when they can go on location?
They like sunlight for filmmaking. That's why Hollywood is such a good spot for it, because it has so much sunlight throughout the year. That's part of it.
Really? That's
That's why they initially moved it to California, was because they have more sunlight than in, say, like New York, where it was based originally.
But do you think though that again, going back to fads and social engineering, and people are being imprisoned by their own minds with social engineering? That's what they're doing. I mean, this facial cameras
Recognition, yeah.
That's right. Now, is it male? I know that what people put on if they're hypothermia, they got hypothermia coming on. There's a special plastic wrap they put on. I think it's Mylar. Is it
Mylar?
Mylar?
Mylar, I think it's Mylar. You can see through it, and apparently that upsets the facial recognition cameras. If you put that on, you can't sort of see it. But
it sounds like a lot of work to get around it.
Well, people are not really seem to be bothered about it. That's what bothers me. Have they been socially engineered not to bother about it? I mean, I think there's.
Well, what can they do about it? It's like government. Like, what can you do about it? You know, voting doesn't help. Going to your local council, going to your local whatever it is, doesn't really help because they've got all sorts of ways of depriving you of any sort of say.
Yeah,
you know, because they've got their clique, the Good Old Boys Club network, lodge members, and you know, that kind of stuff.
Same in the States, I guess, the same as here. And also, you know what they're going to put on? There's a planning permission to put stupid windmills on the Yorkshire Moors to spoil it forever. Windmills. Now, do you have these bloody great windmills for?
Not here. Not so much. We have more like solar farms. You'll see these every so often.
Oh, those bloody things!
Like down near Marine on the St. Croix, near where I'm at. It's you've got places where they'll just take over a property and just fill it with solar panels, and it's ugly. So
it's all to do with money, and they say, "Oh,
again."
Sorry,
I was going to say that was something else I noticed up in Scotland was there was no farms where they got stupid solar panels, but there were wind turbines in places. And if you're going to, again, this is where I go on my different, where I'm not sure what they're even designed. They're not made for that at all. Surely, if you got a wind turbine and you want it to catch the wind, you'd have blades that are thick enough to catch the breeze, but they're really thin. As though they're not really, they're put there to make people think they're being used to generate electricity, even though they're not never connected to any overhead power lines, for example. But the size of the blades would suggest they would be useless at catching the wind, which makes
I saw some when I went to Germany to the Black Forest, and they're ugly. You go into the Black Forest, and it's just beautiful Black Forest, the hills, and almost mountainous. And then you'd see this ugly monstrosity, this massive windmill, and it's just totally out of place, and it breaks up the scenery. I didn't like it at all.
Did you, when you was in Germany, see my favourite piece of architecture? Well, it wasn't really designed by architects. That is Swan Castle.
No, where's that?
That's in Bavaria. And it features.
Oh, you mean you like the Disneyland, like way better than Disneyland type.
Yeah.
Is it a monstrosity, or is it? You think it's a monstrosity, or no, maybe we're thinking of something
beautiful? No,
it's like a fairy tale.
That's right. It was Prince Ludwig, I think it was.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it was designed by theatre set designers, not architects.
Really?
It's absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah. And to me, that is beautiful. It was just jaw-dropping, and I still think. I think it was Ludwig. Sure, it's Shane Monaco.
Yeah.
Right. He was found face down in the local lake. His death was very suspicious. Very, very suspicious. And Matilda has been to Swan Castle. I've been to Swan Castle. That's a place I've always wanted to go to. I mean, it's jaw-dropping. It's not touristy, is it? You know, sort of having to pay to go and see anything. You know, I hate touristy areas. You know,
it'd be like the Taj Mahal or something.
Yeah, well, you know, you everywhere you go, you got some bastard with their hand out. You know,
I've heard the Taj Mahal. It looks very beautiful when you go to see it, and the exterior is just gorgeous. But then you go inside, and it's not as impressive.
we've got similar to the Taj Mahal in Brighton. It's called the Brighton Pavilion, and it was made in the Victorian times. I think have you been there, Paul? I think you've been there. Haven't you?
I have. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Just don't
you
drop
think it looks
don't drop a
Indian?
pound on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's don't drop a pan on the floor. Well, what'll happen?
In Brighton.
Oh,
think you
sorry.
probably-
Yes, Brighton. Yes, it's the gay capital of Great Britain, I believe.
Brighton?
So Brighton is, yeah. It's
So
the
it's
San
the
Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yes.
By the-
Are you
Yeah,
going?
yeah.
Doesn't sound quite right, does it? Are you going to Brighton, Chippy? Be sure to wear flowers in your hair. Come on. But for Americans out there, a chippy is a fish and chip shop. Oh, sorry, a fry's shop. Oh, by the way, Paul, was there many chippies up in Scotland? Are they still there? You know, the old
Yeah, they do. And
Mars
I hadn't had
bars?
chips for a long time, and I went into one called, and this sounds really dodgy by its name alone. It's called the Blue Lagoon, but it was a fish and chip shop and nothing else. And I thought I hadn't had chips for probably about 12 months. I thought I'll go and pop in this chippy and get some chips. They were bloody horrible, absolutely
Really?
disgusting. They were, yeah, they were horrible, yeah.
I would say they've done away with the death sentence, but it should be returned for people that serve soggy chips.
Yeah.
I mean, or soggy fries. Sorry for the Americans.
French fries.
French fries. Yeah.
Yes.
Mind you, because in this country until I think it's about 1970s, when you went to get fish and chips or fries, you actually they served it in newspaper, actual newspaper. They'd get a street newspaper, and there it was. And that was for a long time until about mid 80s. You're in. I think it must have been, and they outlawed it because it wasn't very hygienic, you know. But you could at least read what's on yesterday's news.
Yeah, all that soybean oil would leak out and leach into it with the estrogen. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that's quite nice. Yeah, but because they used to actually do the fish and that in beef dripping, I think it was.
Yeah, tallow and lard.
Tallow, yeah.
I wish they'd go back to that and all.
It's awful now. You know.
Well, that's all I use is beef tallow and pork lard for frying chips, as you call them, French fries.
Yeah, French fries.
It's so good. So good. Anything deep fried in animal fat makes it so much tastier.
And of course, years ago, you used to get what they call the scraps as well. Do you remember that, Chris?
Oh, yeah, I remember the scraps.
The fried bits from the bottom of the pan. Oh, I'll tell you what, you'd feel sick afterwards, but I'll tell you what, it was worth it.
And also, I used to get a wally from there. Now you think, what the bloody is a wally? A wally. It's a gherkin, a pickled gherkin.
Oh yeah.
The wallies. Oh, it's a wally. But now this is a question, so it's in capital letters. Thanks, Mike Mantis. Oh, not again. I'm not getting this question again. Are you getting that Stone Scotsman on again, Eric? He was on fire. Well, no, actually, I've been serious. He sent me an apology, and I sent back, and I said, look, you know, when the drink is in, the demon is talking, and not the true you. And we want the true you because you're interesting, not the demon. And the drink is the demon. And I said, you're welcome on any time, providing you're sober. So
yeah, he had some interesting things to say.
Very interesting man.
Yeah.
And I think people that do get drunk, I think there's a sad side of their personality because you don't know what hell they're going through in their mind. So, you know, I like people, and I think that it's nice to have people with all different views on. But again, I said, you know, if he's drunk, I'm afraid I can't. You know, and he understood. So he's welcome back on again if saying it seriously, if he's sober, because he had a lot of interesting things to say. And he did have good microphone discipline when he was sober. That's it.
I think I missed this one, the one that you did with. So.
You must have missed it.
I must have missed it. Yeah.
Yes, he was a screaming because he had the drink there, and he's pissed as a newt, and he was talking over people, and again, it's not the person; it's the demon that's speaking, not the person. You know.
That's why it's called spirit, because it affects your soul.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing. It gets in the media. that kind of behavior we were talking before about fads and that kind of thing, and the drug use and the alcohol use, and how it's just completely glamorized in the media, like these people who do drugs, and it goes along with the music too. Fads always seem to follow music trends, and the way the music changes, it's like whatever the music, the things people are saying end up creating the culture.
You're right.
And listening is just as important as the seeing, the visuals, the way people talk, the way they behave.
I agree. Yeah. And but Exo says, did you get a deep fried Glasgow Mars bar, Anorak?
No, I didn't, but I did see in that Blue Lagoon chippy. I promise that is a chippy. If you want to check it, have a search on Google Maps for Stirling. Yeah, they did have the deep fried Mars bar there, and it said, and then in small print it said underneath, comes with a free ambulance or something like that.
Well, you know what you do when you get soggy chips?
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is send them back and have them put them back in the fryer, and they'll crisp up and they'll be really nice. Because usually that's what I do. I'll take them out while they're still soggy and let them sit for a little while, and then I'll put them back into the hot oil, and the inside is nice and soft, but then the outside isn't crisp. It's beautiful. So
you need to come and teach these people at this chippy in
well, no,
Stirling.
I'll just send it back and be rude. It's not rude, but just send it back and say, hey, these are soggy. Put them back in the fryer.
But there was a blatant kid
better.
there, they said, get back in the queue.
Well, then you cause a scene, and then you make it all about you.
We're English. We don't complain at restaurants. We sit there. Is your food well? Yes. Are you enjoying it? Yes. And so is the fly and the beetle next to it. Before I forget, I've got to make an announcement. Now, for those of you that go on my website, that is FockhamHallRadio.com. It's down at the moment, and it will be down for a few days, I think, because what happened, I thought, I'm going to update it because I'm linking it in with Food for Thought Radio, and you'll be able to listen to it through the website. That is
you want to put player. You want to put player in there.
Player on it and all that. So great. Well, I took it wouldn't load up because it said that I'm up to my limit with the amount of space. So I took my old website down and it still wouldn't upload. So now all you get is a 404 screen of death when you go on there. So
you're going to do a WordPress type thing?
Well, I wanted to do WordPress. It wouldn't even upload WordPress. So I've sent a ticket to the provider to basically tell them what the hell's going on. There's something wrong. I can't upload. And it's a shame because, I have quite a bit of traffic going through to FockhamHallRadio.com. So I'm aware of it, folks, and I'm getting it sorted. I'm hoping to get it sorted in the next couple of days. But its website's down at the moment.
And in the meantime, go to t.me/Fockham Hall. Fockham Hall.
Thank you very much, Patrick. That's very kind of you.
Telegram. Get on Telegram.
Yeah, get on Telegram.
It's a place to
That's
be.
Much appreciated. Thanks for that plug. In fact, in saying that, I think I've got a banner for it. Let's have a look, see if we got here. Got everything else, but it should be here somewhere. But yes. Now the other thing we haven't covered is weather. Now, what's it like in Wisconsin at the moment? Is it?
It was chilly today. It's about 16 right now, which is nice. It's gotten a little bit warmer.
Yeah,
and which is about 60 degrees Fahrenheit. But it was chilly earlier today. Yesterday was beautiful, and it was more like 20, 21. So it was nice, very beautiful, sunny skies, clear. Right now it's overcast, so we're back. We're back to that.
It's similar to here. We're a few. I don't know. I think we're about 2 degrees higher. That's about it. But it's up and down like a tart's drawers. Excuse the crude language. And hang on a minute. Mike Mantis has
We need rain, though. I just want to mention we need rain. So I hope we do get
some
rain.
vase if you want.
Send it our way because we need it.
I was stood at Dumbarton Central Station, and from there you can see over into the mountains over towards Fort William and that side. And I could see this mountain range, and it kept disappearing behind a blanket of heavy rain, and then sunshine, and think, oh, that's time to move, and the heavens are absolutely open. Some of the storms that were coming in were absolutely huge, but they were natural. They weren't manufactured like we keep getting down here. They were proper. It was proper weather, as it should be.
Well, my garden's like the Gobi Desert, even though we've had a few showers. I mean, the ground is as hard as a bloody rock, And what is it? Oh, a Scotsman is quite famous now. He says he was not just pissed, Eric. He was stoned out of his brains. But that's a big thing about alcoholism, isn't it? In Scotland, I think that's what they export, isn't it? It's most famous for it. But
Scotch. They name an alcohol after the place.
Yeah, but and apparently it's called the Blue Oyster Fish Bar.
No, it wasn't that.
Was it?
It was called the Blue Lagoon in Stirling. I asked the bloke in the place I was stopping at, and I said, "Is there another chippy?" Because every time I walked past, this place was empty. Obviously, there's a bit of a clue in there, really. And he said, "Yeah." He said, "There's another one just down from it." And I walked down that road. I walked down the other road, and could I find another chippy? No, I thought, okay, I'll take my chances.
Anyway, we're shortly coming to the end of the show, and the music's going to come in any moment. So we'll be saying goodbye to Food for Thought Radio. But we'll be carrying on Rumble and YouTube, and was it Holy Land Radio, Holy Land FM?
Yes.
And any more Facebook. So we'll be carrying on there. So the music's going to come in any moment now. No, is it coming in? I can hear.
Not yet.
Can hear Paul English.
Anyway, we need rain here, and we've got fire warnings and burning bans. Yeah, it's kind of dry.
Yeah.
So one thing that has been noticeable though is that I don't know if it's the same in America, but it's been bitterly cold winds.
Yeah. Here's the end of the show.
Oh, it switched off.
Is that it?
Wow, that was quick.
Bloody hell, that's quick, yeah.
Is that Paul breathing?
What's happened, Paul? Paul, what's happened?
He can't hear us.
Is he still eating?
Don't know. Did he
So you
fart?
got a buffalo for tea or something?
I thought his breast broke wind.
Have we lost that bit of tune, by the way, with the farting on it?
We can hear him. He can't hear us. Hopefully he doesn't say anything embarrassing.
Yes.
Yes.
What's happened, Paul? Oh, well, I don't know whether we said goodbye to Food for Thought Radio or not.
I don't know. I heard a groan, so something's up. Something's up with Food for Thought. So I best
I can hear clicking.
That's me. That's me. I want to get it so that we're on Holy Land Radio here.
Oh, it's Aunt Sally. Sorry, I've
Go ahead.
chimed in. Please continue. No, I was rude. I chimed in on you. Please continue.
Oh, I'm just setting it up so that we can get on Holy Land Radio.
Listening to Fockham Hall with Eric Von Essex. Remember, whatever you do, have a bloody good laugh.
What is that?
I don't know. Oh, by the way, Aunt Sally is. We'd like.
And why did it come from my
news.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
She's not in the bath. Thank you, lads. Cooking whilst listening. I hope you're doing those nice cakes that you brought into Miles's shop. Oh, bloody hell. They really hit.
I just heard Paul burp.
What the bleeding hell's going on? I think
You had a ping there. Somebody using a typewriter.
No, that's my computer. It's acting weird.
All right.
Sorry about that.
So I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but this is real seat of your pants broadcasting, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Paulie must be stuffed by now. Yes, I think he must be. All that cream and things. Paul, what the bleeding hell's going on? I think so. I think something's gone. Hang on a minute. We're off of Food for Thought Radio. It's gone. It's completely gone. There we are. So we'll carry on regardless.
Yeah, it went silent.
It's gone silent. So that's definitely gone.
I got a message and someone said that, wow, how come there's no sound? I'm working on it. But Paul, I think there's something up with Food for Thought.
Very urgent about. I don't know whether to read this out or not because there's going to be a queue outside Miles's shop. Do you think I should read this out? Yeah, why not? I mean, you might fly over especially, Patrick, to go there. I'm going to Miles tomorrow, Chris, and yes, I am making my lemon cakes. They are they're to die for. They really are. You know,
They
very
work
nice.
with lots of cream on them.
Sorry. Oh no, it's all healthy stuff, all good stuff. You know, yeah, really
Lots
good.
of cream's good for you. It's good for the brain.
It's very good for you. Yes. Well, is it protein? I think it's protein.
Yeah, it's cholesterol, good cholesterol.
Yeah, good bit of cholesterol. Whilst in the bath, answer. That's right. Yes. What people don't realise is that we push Aunt Sally. She's in the bath, and we push her along the road into Martin's shop.
You race down the streets with bathtubs, eh? You put some wheels on them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, there used to be a race, didn't there? A bathtub race where they put wheels on.
I know in the little town, the little village next to us here, they every summer they would have what are called they'd have their own day for their town festival, and they would have bed races. So they'd all soup up these beds, you know, like where you sleep.
Wow,
and they put wheels on them, yeah, and race them down the street.
What about that place up in the north somewhere where they roll balls of cheese down a hill and everybody goes chasing after the balls of cheese?
I heard about that.
Gloucestershire, isn't it?
Gloucestershire,
Gloucestershire?
Yeah. They get injuries. People get injured because it's a very steep hill. Why? I do not know. And where it came from, I do not know.
Does it still go on, or was the health and safety stepped in and said he can't do that because it's too dangerous?
I think it still goes on. And of course, you've got the Obios in Padstow in Cornwall, which is really weird because the Obios is not horse, it's Obios. That was featured in Wicker Man. And but it's
which one? The original?
The original, yeah, the original one.
Because there was one made with Nicolas Cage. I've never seen it, but I know that.
Well, it's probably the original was. I think originals of most films are bloody.
Yeah, with Christopher Lee.
Yeah, I mean it's like the Italian Job, the original. That's the only one to watch. The remake was crap, and things like that. But no, the Obios. It's a very strange thing. A person wears his costume and he sort of dances through the streets with this weird costume on. It's all folklore because this country is still very much pagan. There's a lot of pagan belief here, you know. Now, Hatchie said Aunt Sally would win the bathtub race. I bet a tenner on it. That's it. Now, what's this? Well, let's come over to baths now. I'm usually in the bath for hours during winter because it's the warmest place in the house. Usually fall asleep there and wake up with it freezing naughty bits. Yes.
But again, have you noticed that modern baths are made of plastic, whereas years go by they used to be made of cast iron, which was
cast iron with ceramic,
yeah, which was probably better for our health.
Oh, it was.
So I suspect even, I mean, I've got a shower, not a bath here, but
so me, I got a shower.
But if you're lying in a plastic bath in hot water, presumably you're getting covered in microplastics from the bath, I presume.
Trying to get, and this is another thing I said on Telegram, I wrote an article about, trying to actually get natural clothing now. All right, you can get cotton underwear. I'm glad nylon underwear has gone out. But what gets me, everything's mixed fibers now. I'm sick of it. You just can't get anything.
You know what, Paul, you should have stocked up when you're up in Scotland with that tweed. You know, get some good tweed
Bloody
fabric.
Expensive.
It is, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
That was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But other girls a bit more bonny up in it also speak a different language because everything is bonny. Oh, it's just very bonny. What the bloody hell does that mean? Bonny Scotland. Oh, a woman is a lass. I thought lassie was a bleeding dog. I didn't know. Oh, she's now lass, you know. It's a nice little lassie. Was she talking about a dog? You know.
See, even and this is going to sound really weird, even the automated train announcer, even she got a nice voice. It was
really,
unlike the one we got down here, who sounds like she used to work in a concentration camp previously.
Stalemate is not an option. The blockade won't work. The blockade it helps and enables. And the president, and the only person saying otherwise is Hegseth. And that's why Vice President Vance has been out there telling the world, basically, off the record. But it's clear his office is the source of it. Hegseth is just lying to the president
Eh? What?
What?
See-
Back it
Oh,
up for
hang
this failed tour. Haig's death will be the first on the chopping block. But the president knows the truth. He just ignores the truth.
on. He's gone.
What's going on there?
I don't know. Oh, hang on, Patrick, you're back again.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
That's
Did
bloody
anything
weird.
happen with you too?
Yeah, we're going to hear someone talking about the president. A man who does not realise that when you go on a ceremonial occasion, you keep your overcoat buttoned up and not unbuttoned. It's the height of rudeness. Seriously. Did you see him as he met the Chinese geezer? He came on, well, hello, my old China. And here he is walking along with his coat undone.
You're talking about Trump?
Trump, yeah, you don't walk around with your coat undone when you're meeting dignitaries. It's a sign of impoliteness.
Yeah,
And,
I know. Well, America's gone really strange when it comes to fashion and dressing,
Yeah.
fads.
Yeah.
It's like we don't care anymore. You COVID dress
Yeah,
code.
that's right.
You all sit in your house and just marinate in your own juices, I guess. Walk around in pajamas.
And
I suppose the one thing,
Yeah. Sorry,
one
carry
thing I
on,
would
mate.
say on that is just one thought on that is that would you dress up if the Queen or King turned up in your town, or would you think, well, you're no better than me, I'm not, that's why I should have to dress up to
Yeah.
somebody who's basically a fake. So to me, we're all equal.
Yeah, that's kind of what I see too, because with like Trump, we call him Trump and we don't call him President Trump. It's like, well, just even the way we speak about people, just it's become a grade lower and lower and lower as time goes on, because it's just their behavior becomes more and more crass. You just look at the language. Like I think we've talked previous about Trump and Donald Trump and how just the F-bomb gets thrown out nowadays and there's no thought about it. They show the anger and all this kind of stuff. It's like, there's no professionalism to it.
I agree with you. 100% agree. I mean, when you looked at, you may
Not that it makes it any better bombing people and having professionalism, but still, it's like, maybe there'd be less bombing or less of that kind of behavior, that they can get away with crimes if they had some decorum and had some sort of not decorum. Yeah, decorum. I guess
that's right.
But
you look at
just manners in general is
right.
dropped.
Yeah, manners seem to be lacking these days everywhere, to be honest. I mean, you get on and off trains, people don't let you get off, or you'll get a door for someone that'll just walk past. You think, well, thank you, you're welcome, and I'm gonna get my head kicked in one of these days because I'm forever saying, oh, you're welcome, and there's no need for it. At the end of the day, it's as though like manners they're charged for it now, or they're charged for a smile. You know what I mean? It's weird how.
I agree with you. Holland and Barrett, which is a shop I don't usually frequent, but sometimes what do they have in there? Something I wanted cheap, and I went in there, and then, luckily this assistant's gone now. But they used to have a shop assistant that used to just walk whilst you're looking at something at a counter. She'd walk straight in front of you, straight between you and the counter. Sorry, they have the display racks.
Yeah.
Between you and the display rack, when she could have gone around the back of you. And that to me is the height of rudeness. But I noticed that Trump behaves like a spoilt kid. He's never grown up. I mean, for example, he was sitting at a table, and the senior geezer got up, went for a piss or something. I don't know, went for a pee, and he had a book. So he went over and just opened his book and looked at it. Well, that to me is unbelievably rude. You just don't do things like that. What is,
Yeah.
They're sort of standing holding their bleeding pacemaker when they're playing the national anthem. They look silly. It's childish. You don't see other people doing that. I mean, what's wrong with them? And I feel embarrassed for them. Do you get?
But then I remember. Do you remember this series called The Fall of the Cabal? That was on YouTube, wherever it was, many years ago. And they showed when Trump was in the previous time, and he came over to see the Queen Elizabeth, sorry.
Yeah.
And he deliberately walked in front of her because he knew what was going on, and he was basically deliberately being disrespectful to her because he don't think he liked her, to be honest. Because I guess maybe he knows what goes on, but I don't know.
Who knows? But he sort of walks around like a peacock, on heat, because I'm the president of the United States. Look at me. And at least previous ones, even though they were psychopathic killers, they sort of acted the part. I mean, Eisenhower, he acted the part of the president.
Yeah, Eisenhower actually had a bit of self-awareness. I guess that would be the word to put forward.
That's right.
It's like they don't look in the mirror. They're kind of like vampires. They look in the mirror. They don't see anything wrong with them.
And hang on. And now Matilda said, I was in a restaurant at the weekend, and a waiter walked over chatting on his phone. Then he handed the menus out. Yeah, things like that. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I was always taught to, I don't know. You were saying,
even like going out to eat. Okay, we're talking about fads. This is a fad where people have their phones and they're just engrossed in it and scrolling and all that. And they'd rather scroll than talk to people. They go out to eat and that's all they do is like look at the phone and type on it. And you've got people sitting right there doing the same thing and they could be talking to them and having a conversation. It's like, it's a fad because it hasn't happened before. I mean,
I see that on me travels as well.
Yeah, you see it on the trains and the planes and all that kind of stuff.
I think they should build half the train with windows and half the train without windows. And the people who want to go on their phones and not bother looking out should have the bit without the windows, and let the people who actually want to look at the scenery and watch the world go by have the ones with the windows.
I agree with you. I mean, my phone's off when I go out. It's with me, but it's off. And if I'm sort of have to use public transport, I'll sort of glaze out the window. But in my car, the phone is off, and even on my push bike, the phone is off because I don't want that radiation blasting through me, even though it's in my backpack.
Well, I did have a little thing about that because I was up in, we talked about phones where you'll talk about something, I don't know, dog food, for example, and then you'll get adverts come through on your phone in sort of a half hour's time about dog food because we've talked about it.
That's it.
I'm wondering if this is an issue with Wi-Fi because when I got off the train at Aviemore, I did a steam train out and back on the Strathspey Railway. And then I went out into town to go and get a couple of postcards and whatever to send off. And this Embers coach went past me, who do some of the intercity services from Inverness and so on and so forth. And my phone's always on airplane mode. And I got on board the train to come home, and there was an advert on there saying Embers coaches are looking for drivers. Well, my phone was on airplane mode, so it doesn't actually receive anything, but it still picked that up. So I don't know if there was Wi-Fi on the coach that as it went past, it picked it up, or it picked up where I was. I don't know how it did it, but it did.
It probably picked up from the router near where you were. Probably wasn't sending out signal so much as receiving signal from other places. If it was on airplane mode, I would imagine. I'm guessing. But
I think it's still, I think it's
active. It's still active. Yeah.
Yes.
Passively.
Alice Gould just said, instead of saying excuse me, they say sorry. I reply, don't be. And another one is shop assistants. See you later. I'm bloody worried that I'm going to get this sodding great queue of people round the block who've decided to act on what they've said and have decided to actually see me later. I mean, they don't know me from Adam. They don't even know where I live.
See you later, alligator.
Well, earlier I mentioned I'm going to buy some, so I'm being American here, aluminium from B&Q. Now, don't ask me what B&Q stands for, but it's equivalent to, what would you think? Home Depot, yeah.
Home Depot, yeah.
And I got this £20 token, which is about
Bernard
$30.
Marcus. That's the guy that owns Home Depot.
So
Trump's backer, main backer, owns Home Depot. Yeah.
So I'm going to get my aluminum angles from there. And you're thinking, what's he going to use aluminum angle for?
What are you going to use aluminum? Yeah,
I've electrified my bike, and it's to make a frame to hold the batteries in. So,
cool.
Yeah. So
you've electrified your bike. That's neat.
Well, I say electrified. I've got the wheel, but I haven't put it on yet. That's the only problem. So it's not electrified. So
have you seen these? What do they call those? Unicycle type things that are electric. where it's just a saddle.
Oh, yeah.
The people are
Yeah.
speeding down the street. That's bizarre.
I've seen one. That was
You
in
know,
Northam Abbey. A bloke was speeding along the street there.
I don't trust those things not to fail, and you just go face forward into the pavement. Think about that.
Oh, don't worry. The dog poo on the street will save you if you're Northam Abbey.
You slip. Yeah.
So when's the next full moon? So I've got visions of you going past the moon, like on the ET scene.
No, I've been I actually got an eBay jobby. It's about $200. Electrified wheel, and I haven't got. And I bought some. I bought some. What do they call it? Gel batteries.
Yeah.
So they're a bit heavy. So they're going to go on. They're going to go on the back, and I'm going to put them on a rack of
12 volt.
12 volt. 3 of them to make 36 volts.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why I don't trust the what do you call it? Lithium batteries.
No, they'll explode on you.
They'll explode. Whereas old-fashioned gel, they'll last, and they're pretty good. And the other thing is that the batteries, those sort of lithium batteries, will just go boom when they've run out of juice. But with the gel, they'll gradually run down. So that's the thing. But
Are you not worried about being radiated from them though? Because obviously batteries do produce radiation, and depending on where those batteries are, might not be best for you.
I would imagine not as bad as lithium. Those lithiums are deadly. You know, as far as the amount
I watched a video a while back where somebody chucked an electric bike battery into a waste bin, and it had gone into the back of the bin wagon, and it had caught fire, and they had to basically unload all the waste that was in that wagon out onto the road because it caught fire.
Yeah,
and if you hadn't have done that, the lorry would have gone up and all.
Well, yeah, I mean,
dangerous things.
This is why I haven't got lithium. What it is, my neighbour gave me a mountain bike, and I've already got a mountain bike, so I thought, well, I'll electrify one of them. So I've electrified the old one, and I thought, well, being a lazy sod. No, I was thinking, ideal in the winter and that, and I'm using it basically as a cargo bike, so I can actually put loads onto it.
Well,
that's it.
This is a fad too. These electric scooters and electric bikes and all this. It's only recent days that we've had this kind of thing. I think it's cool. So, I've been looking into electric scooters just to get around town. It'd be kind of fun.
Are they legal in your state?
Yeah, you can get them off Amazon. I think they're legal.
Really? They're not legal here. You can use them on private ground, and you can buy them easily, but they're dragging their heels about it, about how they're going to legalise them. So if you get caught by the cops going along the road with one of those scooters, they'll confiscate it from you.
Well, so I don't see what's the difference like between me running around on an electric scooter and an Amish person running around with a horse. It's like, what's the difference besides one's technology and not living, and the other's
if you haven't committed, if you haven't gone against natural law, you haven't committed any crime. So what?
Right.
Who cares? So I can't see anything wrong with it. I think they're very good, those electric scooters, because some of them you can string over your back, can't you? You can fold them down and just put them over your back when you go somewhere.
And then there's kind of an equal exchange going on too, because of all of the people who have property where these roads are, like everybody's property goes into the middle of the road, so they're giving up a bit of their property for a road to go through. And the exchange should be that you should be able to go on whatever road you want. It's a public road. And as long as you're not harming anybody or causing a ruckus, going around revving up your engine through the town in the middle of the night, just common sense. It's just practical reason.
Like that brings me a quick question on that. I don't know about in America, but in the UK we have noise abatement, which starts. Is it 11 o'clock in the evening? 11 till 7, something like that.
7, I think it is.
I always thought that ambulances and police had to stick to that. So if they were on an emergency call, they had to go on silent blues and twos.
No, they don't. No,
it's not.
They're exempt. They're exempt from it, I think. But I noticed they switch their woo-woos on and off at night.
You would think they would only turn it on when there's traffic in front of them that they need to clear out. I mean, that makes sense. It's reasonable.
That would be logical, yeah.
Yeah, just turn on your light.
And with regards to the electric vehicles, what batteries used to be in? Remember the old milk floats we used to have? They were obviously battery powered, but they obviously, I presume they weren't lithium. I don't know what they were, but they obviously used to charge them every night or through the evening into the next day. But I don't know what they were powered by, whether they were lithium or some other battery type.
What do you mean? The old milk floats? They were powered
Yeah,
by ordinary 12-volt batteries. They used to have loads and loads and loads of them.
What's a milk float?
Oh, milk float. Well, what happened? Story of the milk float. In 1956, there was an oil crisis. Now, I know this because there was a bloke that used to live near us who worked for the Express Dairies. That's where I found it out, you see. And what it was, we had people had milk deliveries in this country. And what happened is there was a fuel crisis in 1956. There was a war in the Middle East. There's a surprise. And the United Dairies, who supplied most of the milk to people, thought ahead and thought, well, petrol's getting expensive. Let's make electric vehicles. And they did. And they had electric vehicles, which were called milk floats, that you could deliver the milk. And it was perfect for the job because it stop, go all the time.
Yeah.
And that kills an internal combustion engine. But electric, I'm all for in favour.
Recharges it. You
That's right.
You can recharge it with the stopping.
Well, no, we couldn't in those days. They were very basic because they ran on car batteries.
So nowadays you can.
And they used to drive back to the depot, plug it in overnight, and then next morning they go to work and there's their milk float all charged up, and they were fantastic. And they all suddenly disappeared off the roads because people don't have their milk delivered anymore. They go to the supermarket and buy their milk. That's it. So that was the end of milk deliveries. But it's a shame. And by the way, you gave me a nice plug for the Telegram, Patrick. We must plug Holy Land Radio, which is on.
Yep. T.me/Holy Land Radio.
And also Holy Land Radio FM. I don't think you can hear it outside the States, so can you?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely. It's FM. FM is localized radio. It's perfect for a local area that doesn't go beyond a certain point. So for FM, I'm running a smaller 150 watt transmitter that I bought from China. And
wow.
It's got an antenna that you can manage 1,000 watts if I wanted to. And I'm thinking of getting a bigger transmitter because it's like, why not? Why not
wow
broadcast to everybody?
That's
But so I'm saving up my pennies to get a new transmitter.
That's great. That really is. Yes, it's good because we are learning American phrases and you're learning English phrases, which is
right.
Because there's a big difference between English and British. Did you know that?
There is. I learned that. I've been listening to a lot of British singles from music singles, tunes and stuff. And I sent you that one question, like, what does it mean to be 2 years in the nick? It's like
jail.
Jail, yeah, exactly. Things like that.
That's right. It's funny you don't realize it, but when you get into Cockney rhyming slang, that is very confusing for people outside UK.
Right.
Because most English, I wouldn't say British, most English can understand rhyming slang. I think you do, Paul, don't you? Rhyming slang.
Little bits of it, yeah.
Yeah, little bits, yeah.
The frog and toad and
going up the apples. You go up the apples and pears. You're walking upstairs.
Stairs, yeah.
And the reason they devised it is Cockney prisoners from London were generally sent to Scotland. So they did it so that the guards didn't understand what they're talking about. And it works. It works very, very well. And it's caught on, you know. And what is it? Lillian Gish, fish. So what did you have for your meal? I had some Lillian Gish, fish.
Bill and Ted.
Bill and
Tit
Ted.
for tat.
Yeah. Tom and Dick. Sick.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm feeling a bit Tom and Dick today. You know? There's loads of them. And I mean, my dad used to come out with it, and we just got used to it. What's the other one now? There's a few.
Well, that's a fad too. We're talking about fads. The people, the lingo that people use.
You got a problem with your Scylla?
Oh, Eric,
You're Scylla Black.
Scylla Black. Oh, Trump is a right Jeremy Hunt.
Jeremy Hunt.
Yeah, think of it.
I thought it was Mike.
See you next.
Not
Yeah,
generally.
Mike Hunt. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Mike,
did say
yeah.
her.
But no, because you call them, was it the police are cops, aren't they? In America, it's the cops. But it's the amount of we got the filth is generally what they're called in this country. Oh, it's the filth. That's if they're road police. Blue bottles. What's the other one? Nick. You know, another one is the Nick.
Geeks and
Yeah, Lily Law. There's another old one, Lily Law. But the other one is an ambulance. Is a blood. Well, this is more of the wartime generation. It's not used now. But my dad used to say, "Oh look, there's a blood wagon." That was what they called ambulances, a blood wagon, and a fire engine was a water wagon. So
I didn't know that one.
Water wagon, blood wagon, and Lily
Whoa.
Law.
Well, it's like a cop car. We'd call it a paddy wagon. And that's
Paddy
an
wagon.
old-fashioned wagon.
Really, a paddy wagon. I like that one.
Yeah.
So it used to be, we used to call them a jam sandwich, didn't we? Because they used to have a white top and bottom and a red strip in the middle, so it looked like a jam sandwich.
Well, I've been following a chap on, was it the Transient Kiwi on YouTube? Very interesting, if anybody's watching him. And he's, his family origin is English, but he was obviously brought up in New Zealand. What he's doing in this country, I don't know. But he is actually cycling down. He cycled through France, and he cycled through to Barcelona in Spain. And he just got into Barcelona. Now, there he is, innocently cycling on his road. The police stop him. And he can't speak Spanish, and they can't speak proper English. So he's saying, "What do you want?" And they go, I said, "Look, I can't speak Spanish." And so they're waffling a while. And there's one geezer in the glasses that you can't see his eyes, which is the wrong thing to do. And they're sort of these plush coppers. And they haven't got anything better to do than stop some poor sod on a push bike who's innocently going about his business. They could see he's travelling, and all they want to do is see his credentials, his passport, and all that. Why? So what? What's he going to do? You know, I mean,
it reminds me of like when I went to Russia, I'd hear about how just not that long ago before I had gotten there or went there, it was common for people to bribe the police. And It's like, yeah, and then you go to certain places and that kind of thing goes on. You don't even know it, but that kind of behavior goes on, and it's not good. And,
pretty corrupt. I was quite surprised.
Yeah.
Aren't I was a bit corrupt as well, though.
Oh yeah, very bad.
Corruption.
Well, Dave Starbuck, who's unfortunately passed away now, he was an investigative journalist, and before he died, he was looking into the corruption of the City of London police. They were different from the rest of the police because the City of London is not part of this country. It's a different, separate sort of entity.
Right.
And it's only a mile.
The square mile, yeah.
It's a bit like, I suppose you could call it the Vatican.
The Vatican or Washington, the District of Columbia, Washington.
Yeah. And he was looking into this. Now, I'm not accusing, I do not know the full stuff, but I'm just going by what he said. And he reckons that they operated a protection racket in the 1960s, and they were pushing people off of high-rise buildings if they didn't pay up. That's what he reckons. Whether that's true or not, I don't know.
I don't doubt some of this stuff.
I don't doubt it.
I don't either.
Yeah. But no, they've got a different uniform as well. They've got different helmets that they wear, and they're totally different setup, Bastards. I think they are.
Yeah, because the Metropolitan Police do the rest of it, don't they? But yeah, in the City of London is all to do with their world, isn't the banking world? It's the elite world, the parasitic world.
The Rothschilds.
Yeah.
But there was an article on Telegram about usury. I think somebody who's in the chat put it on. So I'm not whoever you are. And when you speak to it, nobody knows what usury is if you speak to the average person in the street. But they don't realise that is what is taking all their money away. And
it's money lent on interest.
Yeah.
With interest. Yeah. It's so simple, but people don't understand it because they think, well, no, they've got a right to it. It's like, no, if you lend money, you get the money that you lent back.
That's right.
That's lending. If you're investing in something where there's an equal risk, then that's different. Then you can demand interest on it if you have an equal risk of losing your money. So, yeah.
Well, that's it. And I actually got speaking to a bloke on a market stall, and he thought I was some raving lefty communist. I was trying to explain to him, and he just got the
Right.
complete wrong end of the stick. He's not like that. But similar to what Henry Ford said, I mean, I think that if people knew what usury is really about, the Rothschilds and government would be gone by tomorrow morning. Because he said if people knew the truth about banking,
Yeah.
there'd be a revolution before tomorrow morning. And I think if they knew the truth about usury, they'd
And our
be gone.
military here is based on usury. We have a volunteer military, but it basically is set up with people who can't afford a loan, or they get a loan from the government for a student loan. They can't pay it back because the usury on it is so high, the interest rate, and it's compounding interest to the point where they can't pay it back. So these students go into debt to the government, and then their only option usually is either to, declare. You can't even declare bankruptcy, I don't think, on a student loan. They end up going into debt, and then they give them the option. Well, you can join the military then, and that's how they recruit a lot of people because they can't afford the student debt that they accrue.
I think it's similar in this country because I know that if you, I think they still do this. If you're a petty criminal, you can serve your jail sentence or you can go into the army.
Yep, that too. They have that here.
Yeah, and
I've heard of it.
I think they did that in the 30s and 40s. I'm not sure if it's still doing. I think they still do it here now.
And you don't even have to be a citizen. That's a way for people to get their citizenship. That's another reason that they bring in people who aren't from here. They say to them, well, if you want to get your citizenship right away, join the military. Yeah. So it's another way they recruit it. That's another reason for the,
And
turning a blind
unemployment.
eye to the illegal aliens coming in.
That's right. And also unemployment. They destroy a town, all the employment there. So the youth have got nothing to do other than join the military. And the first people when I was at school to come round when you was at school leaving age, guess who came round the first? The military. Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's probably the same. They're everywhere.
Oh, I remember getting. I would get advertisements when the Selective Service was sending out things to people in my age. After 9/11, it was I was 18 years old, so I would get the Selective Service, and then I'd get something from Gillette razor blades, about the same time, advertising, like getting to the military and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, wait, you sell razor blades. What's your agenda trying to get me to join the military?
Good point. I'll tell you one good thing about getting older. Us three and Paul as well, we're too old for military service, so that's quite nice.
Well, they just passed a law that I think it was like 42. They raised the age for the draft here in America just recently in the last few months, and it's like 42. Well, I just cleared it, but still, it's like what?
Yeah, a bit close, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, that's come on.
Yeah.
To go what? To go enforce these rich bankers so that they can make more money.
Precisely, and they make everything difficult to get out of. And I mean
and we're being led by a draft dodger. Come on.
Yeah, he was
out of it.
Yeah, and you talk with the other one as well. Bush, he got out of it as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
he got out of it, and so did Clinton. They didn't, because they were trying to force a law through, didn't they? That every president that declares war on a country has to go for a week burying the dead, or in the front line. Serving the front line for a week every month or something.
But knowing how sick they are, they probably enjoy that.
Oh yeah, they probably would. Yeah, they want more of it. But the old trick in this country was to go to Northern Ireland, then walk over the border to Southern Ireland. And during World War II, that's what a lot of people did. And then they worked in hotels and things like that to get out of being conscripted. Because this country was one of very few countries that not only conscripted men, but women as well. People don't realise that. From 1941.
They had a big campaign for women to be in the military.
No, but it's draft.
Almost.
They were draft.
Yeah, draft.
And Germany didn't even go that far, but Britain did. And my auntie, she was conscripted into the Pay Corps. But the women were doing things like accounts and things. They didn't fight in the front line.
They're not front line.
Yeah. But in Israel, they are in the front line.
Right.
Apparently. But
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's dreadful. And why should anybody be compelled to do something like that? No, it should be voluntary.
Well, given what we all know about them, that the wars are choreographed by them,
That's
and
right.
we're basically the cannon fodder for them to be disposed of. But we notice that a lot of the adverts for like the army and some sort of lines, fast food, the adverts are always in poorer parts of town. For example, where you'll have an army shop, I don't mean army service shop. I mean an army shop where you can go in, and they're always in
Yes.
the poorer areas.
That's a very good observation. Yes, a bloody good.
A bit like
point, yeah.
as I spotted today when I went down to the farm shop. When I went to go and get the bus back, I noticed there was a Ladbrokes in the estate where I was waiting for the bus. Well, that's an incentive for people to go and basically lose money because you never win. And those are always in poor areas as well. The Ladbrokes, your whatever it is, they're always in poor areas. And people can't see that cycle. Obviously, the gambling, they never win. They might win a pound here, a pound there, but they never win. And it's by design. They're put there deliberately to attract poor people in because they want rid of poor people, basically.
You're spot on. You're spot on. And but you have buses on Sundays. Buses don't run here on Sundays where I live.
Oh, we've got quite a good
Well,
service
no, we've got
here.
very few buses. There's actually no. Well, there's very few, but it's about 1 hour during the week. If you're lucky with buses, it's quicker to walk.
If it's going to Harlow, I suspect it never makes it back. Does
Now-
this will burn that out?
Do you still have hitchhikers?
No,
No.
we used to have hitchhikers. I haven't seen a hitchhiker for years.
Yeah, when I was in Russia, it was so common to see hitchhikers,
Really?
and it'd be anybody. They
Oh, God,
you'd
I'm
even
not-
see girls hitchhiking.
really? But I
And
know
they're
if you did that
trusting.
in Norway, if you did that in Norway, you get a punch in the face.
Yeah, that's probably
very
some
rude.
homo thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Aunt Sally said no one has the right to conscript you to go and kill someone. Well, this is something that got up my dad's ooter because he was conscripted, and he was told a pack of lies by the government, by the authorities, that when you conscripted, you had a choice of whether you went in the Army, Navy, or Air Force. That was bullshit. You didn't get a choice. And the other thing is that what came through with his call-up paper was Territorial Army. And Territorial Army is a volunteer army. So historians will look back and think these conscripts were volunteers. They weren't. So that as another.
Yeah, that's in
fraud.
that booklet that you sent me. He was.
right.
It begins
Yeah.
with that. His conscription or his notice.
Yeah.
Draft notice.
So that's, and you had to register as well. That's the other thing. You know. That
And
you
it
had
was
to-
all a lie, deception, just
All
to get
deception.
people to do it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Well, it's like in Ukraine, the press ganging that goes on there. I don't know if you've seen any of those
I've seen
videos.
it.
I'm sure
Yes,
you
all
have.
sorts, yeah.
Yeah, they just kidnap them and put them in a van, kidnap them off the street, and you get people protesting it and fighting and bloodying themselves over it, and for good reason. I mean, they ship them in a van off to the front line. They conk them out and wake them up, and they're in the front line in the ditches fighting the Russians.
Yeah.
And
I
I've
can't understand it. Sorry, carry on.
you
mate.
can't understand it. Yeah, I can't either. It's greed. It's greed.
No, but I mean, how Russian-speaking people can fight Russian-speaking people who are both.
Oh, that's like Vietnam. It was Vietnamese
Yeah.
fighting Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Pitting them against each other.
That's
But
right.
if all these
Well,
people that are on the front line, if they all said, you know something, they all put the guns down and said, we're not fighting you.
No, they'll shoot them. That's the problem.
Okay.
They have people. It's like the Soviet armies. They'd have people in the back, ready to shoot them if they retreated.
And you know that they had penal colony troops in this country as well, because on D-Day they had them chained to the side of the landing craft, and they had a boat with a machine gun at the back of the landing craft. And just before the thing came down, the what they call it, the front part came down, they would release the chains, pull them through, and if any of them turned back, they got machine gunned. So they had to go forward into the
Yeah.
line of fire, and they were penal colonies, and that's been kept quiet about. But I know that for a fact. They're penal brigades.
Well, one thing I hear that the Russians do, and this is inside of Russia, in like these poorer villages, there'll be some boss of a village, the boss man kind of character, where he's the wealthier landowner. He'll find all of the drunks in the village, and he'll get a bounty for signing them up for the military. And
Wow.
each of them will get registered and get a percentage of the money, but he takes the largest percent. So they've got an incentive to get all the riffraff out of a village. It's I don't mean it to be.
I know what you mean.
These are people who are taken advantage of, and it's really sad too. So, and there are problems on both sides. It's not just like the Ukrainians are the bad guys here. I'm not saying that.
Well, Russians are mad of bureaucracy is bonkers in Russia. So
Yeah, there's corruption on both sides.
And you got pieces of paper to do everything. I know that the corruption, they get out the draft. If you're rich enough, you can pay to get out of being drafted in Russia.
Yeah, it probably goes anywhere. It's probably been the same way throughout all time.
Yeah. And
A comment by Mike Mantis. Yeah, the Scotland would be empty.
well, the funny thing is that seriously though, if you want to get the
Ireland too. Sorry.
Ireland, yeah. Trouble is, modern wars have been nowhere to run to, because years ago you could either go to Canada or Sweden. This is what I was prepared to do if they was going to introduce a draft in this country. I thought, sod that. I had relatives in Canada. I was going to leg it over to Northern Ireland, then down to Southern Ireland, walk across the border, then catch a plane to Canada and ask for political asylum, which I would have got because I've got Canadian relatives. And also, I was in architecture. But luckily, I never had to do that. But there's no way I'd fight because being a conscientious objector is very, very difficult, costs a lot of money. And it's only the rich that got away with it. And you had to be a member of a peace organisation for, I think it's 7 years beforehand.
Quakers?
Yeah, they find it. Yeah, a lot of the Quakers went into the ambulance corps. And a lot of conscientious objectors went into bomb disposal.
Bomb disposal?
Bomb disposal. They reckon that 90 to 95% of conscientious objectors were in bomb disposal. And I saw, it's still around, I don't know if it's on YouTube, unbelievably sad film. It made me weep when I was a nipper, very young, and they showed you it as about a year after the war in Berlin, and the German bomb disposal had got together with the British bomb disposal, and the German ones were sort of thick-rimmed glasses, and sort of shall we say the studious types. The sort of the unfit for the army.
The nerds.
Yeah, but really nice people.
Right.
And they were actually doing bomb disposal for years around Berlin. There was unexploded bombs. There still is around London as well. And at the end of the film, and they were really, really nice people, these Germans, and some of them spoke English. And at the end of the film, they showed you a list of all those that have been blown up. And there's only about a handful that survived. And you saw these, and it chokes you. It really does. And this is why I think it choked Monica tonight about that dream I had with her dad and my dad meeting, because it's strange that they're both the same age and they may have been on the same battlefield.
I have a friend in Germany who's a seismologist. He measures earthquakes and that sort of thing, and he just naturally deals with these unexploded ordnance all throughout Germany, where he's near where he's located. And yeah, he's telling me stories about that when I went there, about how they'd find a bomb and then they'd have to clear out the entire neighborhood in case the bomb disposal squad set it off, and a lot of times they would.
Oh yes, they did that in London. I used to work right next to the Thames. And I was having a coffee in the morning, looking out there, and they had these barges, and they had these small barges with loads of earth and that. And I saw there's police boats around it and army blokes guarding it. I thought, that's strange. Why are they guarding a pile of crap? And it sort of went past the window, underneath the window, and I read in the newspaper that evening it was a big Herman that they dug up, a building site. And then what they did, they took it out to Tilbury and exploded it. They didn't bother, doing the bomb disposal. And luckily they managed to get it out with the spoil, because they're still live, can be, and put it onto this barge and then float it down the Thames. We wouldn't have stood next to the window going, wonder what they're doing, if we'd have known. But they often find unexploded bombs now that are still, because there's a ship, isn't there, that's off of, is it not Canvey Island, which is near Southend, if you look on the map, and that is full of high explosives. And they reckon that if that went up, they can't move it. They don't know. They really didn't know what to do. They've left it there since World War II, and if it did go up, it'd be like a nuclear bomb. It'd wipe out most of Southend.
Well, we're dealing with that right now in the Strait of Hormuz with the Iranians, because they had their entire leadership blown up by missile strikes.
Yes.
And so they said, well, fine, we're going to close the Strait of Hormuz. So they mine it. And it's like any ship that goes through there, they're risking hitting a mine, and only they have the maps to where you can go. It's like, well, gee, it's a terrible situation.
It is.
When you start dealing with mines.
Well, that ship that anchored off Canvey Island, let's be honest, even if it went up, it wouldn't do any damage, would it? It'd probably improve it.
It's done millions of pounds worth of improvements. I like that one. Elton John does a similar service, but not with bombs.
Sorry, I've lowered the tone. I do apologise.
That's all right. I think that's a classic. But I'm just Paul English is similar age to me. We would probably both remember when I was very young, they had these sea mines that had come unhitched that was turning up and ending up sort of coming ashore with different. And we have piers in this country, and they often came and they would come and sort of bash up against piers, and people had to be rushed away, and that because if a sea mine went up, bloody hell, that really goes up because it's designed to blow up a ship. So, and there was loads of them up and down the country. People would be, what's that, mummy? It's a sea mine, dear. Get out. And, because I think I've told you that story about the jellyfish, did I?
No.
When I was a little kid, you see, bucket and spade.
Oh, I think, you did. I think you did, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. Well, for a boy.
Yeah. You mentioned it. May as well go.
But what happened is and it was in the newspapers as these Portuguese men of war jellyfish that are washing up on the coasts, and they're bloody lethal. And I was going, oh, mummy, look at the jellyfish. Oh, look, get away. Clap me. I think I got a clap round here. Look at the jellyfish. Well, it wasn't until years later I was old enough. I said, Mum, what about those jellyfish? She said, no, they weren't jellyfish. They were condoms. Or rubbers, as you call them in America. I thought they were jellyfish. Yeah. Oh, no. Because what happened is Southend-on-Sea, they call it on-sea because it's just at the mouth of the River Thames, you see. And the ships coming out of Tilbury used to empty their bilge tanks. And if they timed it wrong, everything would come flushing into the Southend, and of course there's all these condoms and stuff. Oh, look, jellyfish. But, yes, I wanted to pick it. Because I thought they were dead. I wanted to bring it home and show my friends at school. Oh, look, the jellyfish. Isn't it amazing how innocent our minds were in those days?
Any child is innocent like that. Yeah, of course.
I don't, but I think if I was a bit that age today, I think I would have known what it is because they teach children sex education about 2 o'clock at the age of about 3, don't they? And 4 now, which is absolutely deplorable.
Yeah, that's why you're insane to send your children to public school or even private school or religious school for that matter. The only thing I would do is homeschool. Then you know what's going on.
I 100% agree with you. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, on that note, I don't know about you, but I need to hit the hay.
You're knackered.
knackered. Oh, you got one there. You're knackered. Yeah, I like that.
Cream
Yeah,
crackered.
cream
crackered, knackered.
cream
Yeah,
crackered.
but Cockney slang.
Cockney slang. We're really learning it. Well, oh, you're knackered. And thank you very much, both of you, Paul and Patrick and Paul, for coming
Yeah,
on.
you're welcome.
It's been a great show tonight. Please
Thanks,
join
Chris.
us
Thanks,
tomorrow
Patrick.
night, because Survival Steve and another person, another mystery guest is coming on. Someone who's never been on the show before, who's got their own YouTube channel called
Really?
Mike. Yes. So we got Mike on tomorrow night. So it's going to be quite an interesting show. He's a very experienced broadcaster. So, and
Did Paul English have him on?
no.
Oh, okay. He's an experienced broadcaster.
Yes. No, you're talking about the farmer. No, he's not a farmer. I don't
No,
know
not
what
the farmer. He had some guy who did radio stations over in Ireland.
Oh no! Oh, that's Miles. Yeah, not to be
Okay.
confused with Miles that I look on as my doctor.
Yep.
He's Dr.
Miles Fleetwood Mac.
Miles Fleetwood Mac. And I haven't forgotten the film about Waltham Abbey. But the trouble is, the weather's just been too bad, really, and life has got in the way. But I'm gonna bloody well do that as soon as I can, get that film done, and in search of Britain's last riddle king, and that's
Harold.
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 Yes, and I'll tell you something which is nice. People have actually put flowers around his grave, fresh flowers, and it's surprising. So
Nice.
yeah, that good respect.
Honor.
That is honour, yeah. So and also inside Waltham Abbey, which looks huge from the outside. When you go in there, it's small. It's all the big buttresses that are holding all the roof up and things like that, you know. So that's it. And I don't know whether the Ukrainian flag is still inside. Seriously, what it's doing there, I do not know, because it's nothing to do with Ukraine.
Fad. That's a good place to end. The fad, the Ukrainian fad, that can go away.
That's
Blue and
right.
yellow.
Yes.
Freemason
Yeah.
colours.
Yes.
The green agenda, because blue and yellow make green.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Please shove a thumbs up, subscribe.
That's what Keir Starmer says.
And what was it going to do? Oh yeah, I mean, website's down, but I'll be bringing it up pretty soon. I'm going to get some Viagra, so it'll be coming up the website soon. And whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh and good night.